I will pray for you, but if you get on my nerve, I will cuss you smooth out. My mouth ain't under control yet, and I can throw these hands. And let me tell you something, if I get my hands on you, I promise you, you gonna know you've been in a fight. But I'm trying not to go there because I'm in transition.
It's time to sip that coffee, get your mind right, and vibe with the queen herself. We're dishing out hot topics, wellness tips of the day, and things that make you go, Let's get this palace party started.
All right, things that make you go, and that's why we are here today. Because listen, I saw a few things that made me go, on yesterday. Listen, a few things that made me go, on yesterday. And we calling names today because this is a grown folks channel. If you were bold enough to say it, I'm calling names. I'm highlighting comments. I'm calling names. I am responding in real time because this is a perfect example of a toxic spillover. Water seeks its own level. I said what I said. Water seeks its own level. You are what you attract. You are what you attract. Some of you were completely triggered by I'm not going to even say basketball wives because you already saw the fight. You already saw the fight. The fight has already happened. You've roamed. You've gone around to different content creators' pages. You've gotten fed like a fat tick, right? Like a parasite. You attached yourself to the content that you needed to hear. You were fed, you were happy, fat, full, and fluffy. You walked away and you decided to click my link on yesterday. You decided to click the link on yesterday. And let me bring it up if I still have it. Yeah, I still have it. And it was titled, yesterday's show was titled, A Motherless Daughter. And I was saying that Chantel, based on Jackie's actions in the past, I said, this is bigger than what we saw. This is way bigger than what we saw. You know, we're witnessing the aftermath of a motherless daughter who's been abused for years upon years as a child. What you're seeing is just the effect. The cause is what's happened years ago. You know what I'm saying? And I went as far as to highlight that Chantel isn't the villain here, because as a mama, you have to check yourself and say, how in the hell did we get to the point? Because you know who would do that if they were hosting or facilitating a healing circle between Jackie and her daughters? Iyanla Van Zandt would be all up in her face, asking her, but tell me, daughter, how do we get to the point where your own daughter would feel it's okay to put her hands on you, to push you against the wall? Who modeled that behavior? Where did she learn that from? And y'all were not all of y'all. So let's not loop everybody in one, Queen Sheba. Many of you were so triggered that I just would not focus on the push, and that I would not celebrate Jackie fighting her daughter, or I would not validate that based on the push. And I saw your comments. So yesterday we talked about basketball wives and the explosive fist fight between Jackie and her daughter. To me, it's a hot ass mess. Okay. And then in my title, I said her mother failed her. And I still say that. Ain't nobody getting me off my square as it relates to that. Y'all don't know how to leave content where content belongs. When we leave, we leave. Don't inbox me. Don't tell me your feelings on it. Put it in the chat. That's why YouTube gives you an option to type in a comment. Don't send it to me. I am not your therapist. And I mean that with the utmost respect. I don't want to hear it. When I'm done, I'm done. I'm already on to the next topic. When I was done with this, I was talking and putting together my notes about Brian Kohlberger. I'm moving on. I'm not stuck. My brain works 24/7. So if you don't feel comfortable typing it in the comments, don't send it to me. I don't want to hear it. I'm telling you, that's why I do commentary for you to come here and put it in the chat. Don't inbox it to me. Don't tell me your thoughts. Don't send me inboxes about how I'm wrong and how I should go back and do this and that. I do things on purpose. I don't just turn on a microphone and start talking. Some content creators do. I'm not one of them. It doesn't make me better. It doesn't make them worse. I have a way that I do things that I've done it since day one, since I've gotten on YouTube. I prepare. I prepare. And many people that have been here since day one, they are familiar with that preparation. They know what it looks like, which is why how I See It TV sent me her line of thinking beforehand, because she understands that I prepare. Okay. So she sent, here's my thing. I can't be there with y'all in real time, but can you read this? Sure. Because I prepare. You don't think I know the history? You don't think I've watched enough? You don't think I've been around since day one? I don't catch a wave. I get involved. I get into the thick of it. I've watched Basketball Wives since day one. I said what I said. I'm not cheering for Jackie. Chantel is not the villain here, in my opinion. And it's simply an opinion. In my opinion, her mother failed her. And guess what? We're one of those channels where you get to speak your opinion. My opinion is not the content. I'm just facilitating, and I opened up the lines, and I allowed you all to come up and speak freely. But some of you ain't built like that. You're not made like that for whatever reason. And as soon as the live is over, you become keyboard warriors. And I don't even mind that, because some people are very passionate about this topic. It hit close to home. And yesterday we had somebody that came on and they said, some of you, I can't remember who it was. They said, some of you are triggered because you are the mother that have abused your children. You are the mother that thinks it's okay to slap around your child, justifiably or unjustifiably. You are the mother that has a very toxic household. So when you're typing in the comment section, you're not talking about Jackie, you're talking about yourself. This is a perfect example, and I'm glad we talked about it. I'm not backing down. I'm glad we talked about it. I'm glad we talked about Jackie and her daughter, because it opened up my eyes to a lot. There's so many different unhealthy women that's out here in the community that refuse to be open, that refuse to be empathetic. Nobody justified what Chantel did. Nobody said, ooh, it's okay. I'm glad. You didn't hear not one person. We're not talking about biases. I haven't even gotten there. Biases are okay. Biases are okay. It's when you get personal because you hear something that you didn't like, toxic, unhealthy. And this conversation opened up my eyes to how many unhealthy women are really out here. And most of y'all are mamas. Oh, yeah, most of y'all are mamas. And then you try to go low. Some of y'all try to go real low. Oh, I can tell you're not a mother. I'm a mother to many. And I am a mother. I'm a mother to many. I'm a mother to some of your drunk kids. I'm a mother to your kids that are lost. I gave you a perfect example of a little girl that was drinking on a cruise, 14 years old. I was a mother to her. She's sick. I bought her a Pepsi, sent her to her room. I'm a mother to many. You lucky. You're blessed that your kids run into women like me that can say, go to your room and don't come back out. Here's a Coke. Here's a Pepsi. You should be, or you should not do that. And your parents don't even know. You see what I'm saying? I'm a mother to many. I'm a mother to some of you that are mothers. I stop people from cursing y'all's asses out in my chat, in my comment box. When y'all come in and you're slick at the mouth as older women, and you think you can come around on YouTube and float around and say whatever the hell you want to say. It's a lot of content creators that get down on it. They call y'all all kind of old bitches and hoes. They do all of that. We don't do that over here. I'm a mother to many. I exemplify and I exude and I role model great behavior as a mother. Even to those of you that are way older than me, I'd be like, nah, let her make it. That's an elderly woman. Let's not talk to them like that. But some of y'all are real slick at the mouth. Some of you are very disrespectful. Some of you are extremely toxic. And you think because you are and you spit out a baby, that makes you right. And you get the freedom and the flexibility to come around and say whatever you want to say just because just because you've had a baby, that don't make you a mother. We know a lot of mothers whose kids have been addicted to drugs, dropouts, in jail, prostitutes, all that shit. One, look, y'all, I'm saying it. Listen, watch this. I'm so glad we had that conversation. It's not about being sexy or incest. Wait, what? It happened. Not that. Listen, yeah, it happens. I'm glad that I'm not invested in YouTube. It's okay to be invested in YouTube. It's all about being disciplined, having a level of self-awareness, being able to move about the cabin freely until you can't, moderating yourself. Like Prince Alyssa, y'all worried about everybody but yourself. One lady came, I'm gonna show you. I swear to God, I'm not lying. Oh, you must be a motherless daughter. I only heard you say one thing about your mom, and that was the time you bought her a dog. That was the time you bought your mom a dog. And you were crying yesterday while you were doing Basketball Wives. So you're a motherless daughter. You see the kind of crazy shit y'all make up when you run into a platform or a content creator says something that you don't agree with or you don't want to hear, as opposed to turning it off. You get in the comments and say, you were crying. You were crying yesterday when you did this commentary. That tells me you're a motherless daughter, because I only heard you say one thing about your mom one time, that you bought her a dog. Ma'am, I don't even know you. Why would I sit down? Ma'am, what does my mom have to do with Basketball Wives? What is me having to buy my mom a dog? What is me having to purchase a dog, or wanting to buy my mom a dog? What does that have to do with Basketball Wives? Why would I sit down with you, a stranger I've never even met, and talk about my mom and where we go for dinner and what we have planned and where we're going and what gift I bought her and when did I go over? Why would ma'am, are you crazy? Yeah, I said they are. So yesterday the comments were rolling in. Another comment, somebody came and said, Queen Sheba only cares about the money. She doesn't even care about her content. Are you crazy? You don't even know how YouTube pays. There is no money. And wait, so you're telling me because this video got 9,000 views, I'm raking in the money? You don't even know how the payout is as it relates to the ratio of cents to the dollar. That's idiotic comments, ma'am. Sugar Dumpling says, "Speak it, Queen. I will start telling them that I'm a mother to many when they try. So you ain't got no kids, me. I can't stand ignorant." And you said it. Watch this. This is about Jackie and her daughter. Everybody can express their opinion over here freely. When you said you can tell you're not a mother, that's not a flex on me. I didn't open up my legs and have multiple kids by multiple men. I had a great role model. I knew from an early age that I wanted to be a wife first and a mother second. And I was willing to wait as long as it took in order to become a wife first and a mother second. No tea, no shade to anybody that's in there, but since they brought it to my platform, I'm going to talk about it. If you choose to be a single mom and give the man a beautiful gift of birthing multiple children without a ring, that's on you. But don't ever come at me like that's a flex on me. If I was a motherless daughter, I may have gone that route. No tea, no shade to any of you. That's all I'm saying, but I'm getting my lick back. Because you're not going to come over here and disrespect me and try to make me feel less than because I chose to wait and operate according to the Bible. Let's talk about it, because a lot of you wanted to put the Bible in here. The Lord says that a child is supposed to respect. The Lord also says get married before you have children. So why are you coming over here telling me that I'm not a mother? You could tell you're not a mother. Oh, I'm a beautiful mother. You better ask somebody. You better ask my brother. You better ask my son. You better ask my husband. You better ask these children in this neighborhood. You better ask my niece and my nephew. You mad? What kind of mother are you? That's not a dig at a woman who chooses. There's a lot of women in this audience that don't have children. They're choosing to wait. They're professional. They were raised right. They're nice women. Some of them are religious. Some of them are spiritual. They don't want to have children. by themselves yet. So what you talking about, lady? Simple Yet Stylish says, period. Don't pick and choose scriptures to back up your nonsense. Speak on it, queen. And the Bible also says, do not provoke your children to anger. Oh, they was coming with scripture. They was coming with everything, as opposed to just taking what you need or agreeing to disagree and put what you support in the chat. It became very personal. It became very toxic. And I see what some of these men are talking about. And I be windmilling. I used to windmill for women in the manosphere. The only one windmilling. But I said, okay, all right. I always choose the right side of the fence, but I understand the qualms that people take up with Black women sometimes. We can be extremely unhealthy and toxic. Extremely unhealthy and toxic. Don't come for me. A motherless daughter doesn't get a master's degree. A motherless daughter doesn't build a platform from scratch like this and make the strides I've made, not even on YouTube, in my personal life. A motherless daughter doesn't build movements like Black Girl Day Off so that you, as a mother, could take a day off and take care of yourself and prioritize your mental health and go get a mammogram and make sure you're okay because you're busy being the matriarch and the head of the household and your family is a single mother because you chose to lay with a man that didn't have enough honor, valor, and respect to stay in the home and become a father and lead as a husband. So a motherless daughter doesn't think about other women around her. She's too busy scratching and surviving, putting herself back to pieces because she was left to fend for herself. Motherless daughter only takes themselves into account. That's why I call Chantel a motherless daughter. See, y'all don't listen. Oh, Queen, I said she's a motherless daughter. That's how motherless daughters behave. They're going to push you. They're going to be real disrespectful. But you too busy building this false narrative. You don't even know what the title means. That's why I called her a motherless daughter. Motherless daughters can be extremely unhealthy. You don't even get it. And I don't want those kind of women around me. I don't need your like. I don't need your follow. I don't need any motherless daughters, even though you're a mother. You can still be a motherless daughter. I don't like women like you. We not the same. I don't like women that as soon as they hear something they don't like, they go on the attack. Stay away from me. Get from around me with that mess, Apollo. We not the same. You too weak for me. You're unhealthy. We would never be friends in real life because I can spot you out like a wounded animal. Nah, I don't want to do that. You the type that would attack a woman just because she has a different opinion. I'm not with that. The proof is in the pudding. I'm not with that. I don't operate like that. I don't give a damn if I got 1 or 1,000,000. I'm going to show up every day like I do, like I've been doing it. Your insult is going to fall to the wayside. You messed yourself over. Let me tell you why you messed yourself over. Content creators have a very good memory of the people that stand out in a particular way. A year or two ago, there was somebody that I knew, and a content creator was going off on a tangent, and they were about to go back off on that content creator. I said, don't do that. Do you like YouTube? Yeah. Do you want to be around? Yeah, that's just content. They're going to move on to different kind of content. And if you want to frolic freely around YouTube, be careful of what you put in content creators' comments. I told this person, they have very good memories and they're going to block you. And they're going to move on and they're going to grow. And you never know what's going to become of them in the future. But they're going to always remember how you showed up and insulted them because you disagreed. And you may need access to them one day. So chill out with that because none of us know where this thing is going. So I said, don't ruin your reputation like that. Don't put that in there and delete that comment. Because before you know it, if that's who you are, you're going to be blocked from everybody's page. And that person deleted the comment. And her and that content creator became friends, real good friends. But you see, I'm a mother to many. Don't do that. Don't leave that. But some of y'all are mad and triggered because you didn't hear what you needed or wanted to hear. Why not? There's plenty of other content creators that's wearing Chantel out, that's hyping up Jackie, that's saying, knock her fucking teeth out her mouth. I'm not that kind of woman. Even if I'm not that kind of woman, I don't want to see mother and daughter fight. I'm not going to rah-rah that shit. I'm not going to co-sign that shit at all. I don't give a damn who pushed who first. Jackie could have pushed Chantel first. My expectation would have still been, Chantel, don't swing on your mama. If I was a motherless daughter, I would have been out there. Yeah, beat her motherfucking ass. Da-da-da-da-da. It don't matter what side you taking. That's not where I want to see us go as women. And I said what the fuck I said. The question is, how did we get here? Somebody got to take responsibility for this girl on the right being a motherless daughter. And y'all talked all that crap in the comments and talked about the mother is this, the mother is that, and the da-da-da-da-da. What about the abuse? You ain't said I'm a mother. And what about the sexual abuse? Y'all talked about everything except what happened to the child. And I know why some of you came over here and said, you must be this and this with your mama, because you heard another content creator say, if anybody going up for Jackie, that'll tell you right there that they have some issues with their mama. Speak on yourself. That ain't my reality. Maybe you had issues with your mama as a content creator. I ain't never laid a motherfucking hand on mine. I ain't never even spit a curse word at mine. The worst I've ever said to my mama is, all right, girl, let me let you go, girl. All right now, mama. All right. Bye, mama. So that's not my reality. I send that back to where it belongs, you. So don't come over here spitting in my chat something that another content creator, that ain't my reality. I ain't never put my hands on my mama. And I thought I made that very clear. I said I would never hit my mama. And I also said I wouldn't hit anybody else's mom. That's not me. I would probably say, get your mom. I'm leaving. And somebody said, even if she pushed you, it's a fucking push. I've been pushed before. It's a push. I ain't swinging on mine. I ain't swinging on my daughter. I ain't swinging on my son. I ain't swinging on my mama. I've been pushed before. I got this. Quit acting like you the only one. And that's the thing. A lot of you live in this bubble where you think your reality is the only reality. Everybody's not cut from the cloth that you're cut from. Everybody's not quick to throw hands. And not because we scared. Some of us hold back because we'll beat your motherfucking ass. How about that? That's why I said, because that's all I'm saying. Some of us hold back because we about that life. We got them hands, been doing it, been to jail for it, fighting. Some of us can fight, shouldn't be fighting, but can. So you don't know why somebody's giving you a rundown of how do we get here, problem solving. Let's deconstruct this thing. Let's talk this thing through as ladies. It's crazy to me. Y'all come to platforms that's going to challenge you and get mad when being challenged because you're so used to being toxic and unhealthy. Rah, rah, let's go. I'll knock my daughter out. That's you. That's you. Knock her out. But eventually you're going to get old. And this ain't, I'm not, listen, stop saying, oh, Chantel did wrong. I know that. That's why I called her a motherless daughter. You birthed that. You raised that. The Bible says train a child in the way he or she should go. That is an outcome. That is a replica, a clone of you in your training, in your mothering, or lack thereof. Aisha says, Queen, I know you can defend yourself, but I hate when people come for you negatively. I know the platform will bring the good, the bad, and the ugly, but it makes me want to tag their ass. Listen, we tagging today. Toot says, I wouldn't think of it, but I know some who were tired of having their teeth knocked out by their mom and they knocked their mom's tooth out. Real story. For real, for real. I don't believe in whoopings. I don't believe in whoopings. I don't think you have to just put belt to the ass to get a. Some of y'all do. You got to put belt to the ass. Maybe you do. But you know what? If you start to massage their brain and their mind from an early age, challenging them, putting them in sports, putting them in different kind of things that's going to keep them busy, keep their brain constantly working and challenge. You ain't got to hit them. You can look at them sternly, talk to them, challenge them. It's all kind of ways. That's just me. That's my belief. That's just the tenderness that I choose to have in relationships. You get what I'm saying? Your Royal Highness says years of abuse, manipulation, and neglect are showing up, and Jackie is taking not one level of accountability, not none. They should have never fought. It should have never gotten to that. And if the truth be told, me personally, I know Chantel was doing all of that. That's why I called her a motherless daughter. But some of y'all, oh, I couldn't click on this topic. Why? It says motherless daughter. Do you not know what that entails? Toxicity. Chantel did everything I expect from a motherless daughter. Oh, yeah. When we called Destiny a motherless daughter, y'all was, yes, queen, get a queen. Yes. But we can't call Chantel one. When people hold Miss Wanda accountable, yes, queen, yes. I don't really talk about Miss Wanda because she's a mother. She may be one that's not favorable, but I try not to, that's still an older lady in the Black community, right? I try not to go too hard on her, call her bitch or hoe, or call that lady out of her name, right? But let's put Miss Wanda and Letitia on this screen. Y'all will be jumping for joy. It's the same strategy. You just don't want to hear it because you can grossly identify with Jackie. If you can identify with Jackie, then you can identify with the rest of them toxic ass mamas out there. That's what you don't know. I hold in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. I do shit for a reason around here. I like to smoke them out. I like to smoke people out to see what you really stand on, how you don't think when you type in the comments, and how you're really showing yourself. Now, what you believe is what you believe. That's no wrong in that you feel like if your daughter hits you, you're going to knock her teeth out. Hey, I'm not your daughter, so I'm not judging that. Your daughter know you. She better know. You better not hit your mama. She said she's going to knock your teeth out your mouth. But I am judging is those of you that can't simply walk away after the content is over and after the segment is over, and you choose violence against a content creator. You could go anywhere on YouTube. Every channel is like a pea in the ocean. It's hard to find this channel if you haven't been here before. YouTube has to feed it to you because it's like a pea in the ocean. Go dive in the ocean and try to find this channel. You're not going to find it. So either you've been here since day one, YouTube fed it to you, you got a taste of something, either you like it or you don't like it, but you chose to come back and keep coming back. It's not about disagreeing. People came on this panel yesterday and they ran down their thoughts. Very beautiful thoughts. A lot of people disagree with me. Very thought-provoking conversation. Beautiful. And they went on about their business, went and had lunch, and was waiting for the next commentary. I'm talking to those low vibrational ones that decided to up the ante. Just because you disagree, Queen, you know what? You ain't no mother. And that you not hurting me. You know who you are hurting? The ones that really want a baby. That see your comment. I'm not that girl. I don't crave anything that God didn't give me. Not no man, not no child, not a neighborhood, not a car. You're not hurting me. You hurting the ones next to you that really want that. And you're showing yourself to be the type of female, and I choose my words very carefully, to be the type of female that most women don't want to mess with because you ignorant in a lot of ways. And that's not how we get down over here. I'm not going to let you come over here and trash and put a negative on somebody that disagrees with you or have a completely different viewpoint. You know what I'm saying? You say your title don't give you the right to mistreat your kids or your children. Keep going, Queen, keep going. No matter what, a child doesn't have a right to put their hands on their mother. Who told you that? I said I wouldn't do it. And you don't have a right to put your hands on your child. That shit goes hand in hand. She pushed her mom. Jackie thought about it and processed it. Jackie could have let her walk her ass out there, but she chose not to. You choose your life, y'all. We talk about this all the time over here. You choose how you show up. You can choose to swing or not to swing. She chose to swing. Chantel chose to push. Jackie chose to swing. They are one and the same. You cannot argue on the side of one without representing the other. They are exactly the same person. That's what I'm saying. Y'all don't really sit back and look at this shit and peel it back. That's why my notion has been, y'all, how did this start? I never said Chantel was right. I said, we got to go back to how this started. They're one and the same. That's all. You ain't got no right. Neither one of them have a right. They're both the same. They're both the same. Both of them are motherless daughters. Both of them have been abused. Y'all are, sometimes I'm like, do people really, we talk about this every Wednesday. We have a Wednesday morning corporate segment where I challenge Black women, listen before you speak. Process everything that's going on around you. Don't be the first to hit that buzzer. Take in what they're saying, process it, filter out anything that's triggering to you. Ask yourself, why are you so sensitive? Why are you being so triggered in a meeting at work? And when it all comes down to, they didn't hear me. Somebody cut me off. They didn't let me talk. She took credit for my work. Okay. What's the workaround? How you get back in there? Drop the emotion. Come with strategy. How you get back in there? How you get back in the game? How do you get back in there and navigate the complexities of what's going on when you feel triggered? They're both the same. If you rooting for Jackie, then you rooting for Chantel. That's all I'm saying. Simple Yes Stylist says, yeah, the same. I know people that were whooped now and they're whooping their parents. Exactly. They're both the same. And if they don't fix this, when Jackie gets old, they gonna treat her like crap, both of them. Leave her in a facility, unattended. Men go on. I don't give a damn. Well, she got a husband. Do you understand men? Most, not all. It takes a special kind to be a really good caretaker. God forbid should something happen to you. So you want to have positive relationships with your children, not to be confused with allowing your children to mistreat you, abuse you, and use you. But y'all don't want to talk about how we got here. We got here because these girls were abused in some sort of way, and their mother is pretending like they weren't. And the cycle keeps repeating itself. Y'all don't talk about that. Y'all don't want to talk about that in the comments. You skipped straight to the push. How do we get to a point where your daughter is comfortable pushing you? Who taught her to put her hands on somebody in the house when they're frustrated? How do we get to a point where your oldest daughter is molesting your youngest daughter sexually? Who molested your oldest daughter? Y'all want to talk about that? I'm a mama. That's all you want to talk about. Mama, being a mama. But you let mama, your daughter, get abused. Mama, you allow your oldest child, mama, to do the unthinkable to the other child, mama, and you paraded your daughter around to red carpet events, got her hair done, got her makeup done, dressed her up on the outside, trying to erase the pain and the turmoil on the inside. So miss me with all that until you're ready to really tackle how we got here. I'm not trying to hear none of that. Come with some sense to these kind of conversations. It's not about taking a side. It's about recognizing there is a big problem here, and it stems with abuse. It starts with abuse. And if you'll turn your eye to abuse, you can't sit next to me. Listen, we got to tackle the abuse before we can get to the push. Fruit Gummy says, all Queen says, don't start at the end. Look at the beginning. Look at the root of what got them here. Abused. Two mamas, Jackie's mama, turned her blind eye to her daughter being abused, and Jackie turning a blind eye to her daughter being abused, and Jackie also inflicting abuse on both of her daughters, but y'all don't want to talk about it. That's why I'm saying y'all don't want to talk about it. All you want to talk about is I'm the mama. Okay. Keep screwing your kids up. Keep acting like it didn't happen. Keep refusing to put them in therapy. Messing your kids up because you are so concerned about yourself and being a mama and being highlighted for Mother's Day. Nothing else matters but you in that house. I'm the mama. So what? I'm the mama. I don't care. That was a long time ago. You got sexually molested. That was a long time ago. I beat you over and over as a child. Who cares? I'm the mama. Don't touch me. Don't put your hands on me. I'm the mama. That's all. That's toxic to me. It's toxic when we ignore the entire story. You got to listen, go get into a fight. Call the police and both of y'all are fighting. And watch the police say, how did it start? Well, he hit me. I don't care. How did it start? How did it start? They want the full picture so that they can decipher what the hell is going on. They know there was a fight. We know there was a push. We know there was a reaction to that, a conscious reaction, an intentional reaction to that. I told y'all they were going to fight. I stopped the video. I said, in this moment right here, when Jackie decides to get up off this sofa, she chose to engage. She's made up her mind. You know why? Because she was triggered. Did nothing else trigger Jackie that Chantel was saying until Chantel said, look at you as a mother. Look at you as a mother. Then she physically got up and put herself in proximity to Chantel. That's called a conscious decision. We're not blaming nobody. I'm just trying to educate y'all. When people decide, you know what, I got time today. That's when Jackie decided, fuck it. I got time today because she was triggered. Nothing else bothered her. Let me run it down. I'm going to run it down and I'm going to keep cooking. Give me 1 second. I just want to run it down. For those, you got to look at things to understand things so that you see it and you understand it. And if it shows up in your life, you be like, shit, let me move because I ain't trying to go to jail. If they were on the street, let's just say they were on the street and it happened, the police isn't going to say, you shouldn't push your mom. They going to lock them both up because it's considered mutual combat. If Jackie, let's just say if they were on the street, and I'm just talking and speaking hypothetically, if they were on the street and this occurred, right? They both would have went to jail because it's considered mutual. That's all I'm saying. Y'all hate hearing. Some of you don't like to hear rationality come from Black women. Reasonability. Reasonability. Thank you. The 13th juror says you're absolutely right. Try it on the street, in the coffee shop. Let your daughter push you like Chantel pushed her mom and you swing on her. Both of y'all going to jail. That's what I said. It's a shame. And I was trying to massage the dialogue and say, how do we get here? Jackie, you got to take responsibility. Queen, you can't wear the crown and not want the responsibility of wearing the crown. Babies come out head first, the crown. Otherwise, it's called breach. Come on, y'all. There's a responsibility to being a mother. That's why it's considered an honor. It's up to you as a mom to pick and choose how you show up in your children's lives, even if it means dismissing them as toxic children. You don't let your kids bring you down. You make them stand up, Jackie, and which is why I said Chantel is not the villain. Her mother failed her. When you fail to acknowledge wrongdoing, abuse in your household, the mistakes you've made as a woman in your household, listen, everybody's saying, where's Doug? We talked about that yesterday. But it starts with the mother as it relates to the children. Now, y'all talk a lot about how children need their mother, right? At a younger age, and how when men fight women for custody of their children. That's so diabolical. Why is it diabolical? Because according to y'all, if what you say is true, a mother is so important to her child. You don't rip a child away from her mother. Well, then who bears the responsibility in the household when the child comes to you and say, Mama, so-and-so did this to me? Who bears the responsibility if a child is overweight, Jackie, and you told her she's fat and black and she got to walk on that? Y'all ain't talking about that. I didn't see not one comment, and I could have overlooked it. Not one of you mothers acknowledged the wrongdoing that Jackie has done to her girls. You played like it didn't happen. It didn't exist. So when that lady said, "You're not are you a motherless daughter?" I said, "Are you an abusive mother? Are you guilty of allowing your child to be sexually molested? Are you guilty or not?" And then God told me, delete that. God told me, get your Twitter fingers, delete that. And I did in obedience. But watch how you come for me. Because I'm not Mother Teresa. I am not a priest. I am not a first lady. I'm not. But I'm not going to let you come over here and tear up this platform. You can agree all day, y'all. We do it all the time. We have a good time, baby. We'll go ham disagreeing. But you're not going to come over here and inflict what you carry inside of you. And think you're not going to get that work because you mad about content that we've moved on from. So I got you, Royal Bristolian. She said at the end, I wrote vice versa. I got you. So you have to start from the beginning. If they were to go to family therapy, they're not going to start at the push. They're not going to start at Jackie's reaction to the push. They going to go back and that therapist is going to gather everything that's happened. And it behooves me that some of you can't even do that. It don't matter. It does matter. That's a huge part of it. It does matter. I told you boys are worse. If I was a woman, a mother of a boy that's been abused, and I let him or you let him be abused and you didn't do shit, you better sleep with one eye open as he begins to age in that house or encourage him to move out. You see boys hurting their moms all the fucking time in the news. I said, boys are worse. And if you don't start talking about it as a community, you may F around and find out. You don't take in wounded boys and feel comfortable going to sleep at night. Who was that boy? Y'all remember? Help me. It was somebody, Garcelle Bouvet. Garcelle, when Oliver was on drugs, do y'all remember? She's from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She said she didn't recognize him. He was so high on drugs, he was hanging out by her shed like he was a damn rooster, wide-eyed. She was scared, didn't let him in her house. I said, boys are worse. How did we get here? Even Garcelle had the wherewithal and the empathy to meet her boys where they were. And those boys said, you were not here for me when I needed you the most. We love you, but it's too late to what? Be a mother now. Y'all heard them. Y'all heard them. But let a woman facilitate a conversation like this. Oh, you motherless daughter. No, I'm not. I don't have to talk about my mom to you. I don't know you from Adam, ma'am. And most content creators wouldn't even give you nothing personal about them. And I see why they don't. I see why they don't host meets and greets. They come up, they get their money, they make their content, and to hell with you. That's how most of them think. Nobody has to open up their life to you. And that's why they don't. Because many of you really toxic, lonely, sitting at home, your brain is eating you alive because you have nothing else better to do. And I'm not talking about those of you that agree to disagree and stand on your business. I'm talking about those of you that take it a little bit further, like that girl that was sent home from McDonald's. Fantasize about a disagreement. Fantasize about content. Become obsessed with it. To the point, listen, don't come back over here. Don't come back over here. How I See It TV says no one wins when the family feuds. I agree. One lady told me, I unsubscribe. Please leave quietly. Ma'am, you're not going to make or break. And for every year one, got to give me 10. It's all about the heart posture. What was I trying to do? What was my intent? My intent is we got to fix it. Talk to a lot of kids and start realizing they were abused and how these parents are trying to take them on cruises and dress. You know how you try to dress up a pig on the outside and put lipstick on it? You can talk about everything in this family, but you cannot talk about how you were done wrong as a kid. I'm a lavish you with the tennis shoes. You gonna have the newest set of AirPods. You gonna have the newest iPhones. You gonna get haircuts. You gonna look good. You gonna get your nails done. I'm gonna dress you up on the outside, but don't you dare talk about how I neglected you. Yeah, we gotta fix it. Jane A says, I hear you, Queen. I was focused on Chantel's disrespect character and her failure to engage the audience of her trauma and abuse against her mom. I wish Chantel focused on communicating her pain. She probably did. But it's a show. And there are edits that had to be had. At the end of the day, VH1 has to make money. So there's things that they're going to present, and they can't include everything, unfortunately. Michelle Simmons says, I'm woman enough to say I have been on both sides of the coin. Neither Jackie nor Chantel can heal until they see their issues. I agree. And as much as Chantel put in her pen letter to the audience, I'm a do better. You can't if you haven't gone to therapy. You want to, but you're not going to be able to, because the proof is in the pudding. The fact that you push your mom against that wall is a perfect example of that, which is hence the reason why I titled and called her a motherless daughter. And if you don't know what a motherless daughter is and how it impacts him and what negativity comes with the motherless daughter, you miss the whole entire concept of the video. Thank you, Jess B. And I understand that. What you were saying, Queen, is foreign to those who lived or live in dysfunction, but that's crazy because they're always chasing the light. They're always chasing the light, but don't want to do the work, don't want to hear anything that symbolizes or come close to accountability on both sides. On both sides. People were pissed off at me for taking the middle on a puffy trial. One day you sound like this, the next day, because everybody's at fault. I said what I said. Nobody has clean hands here. Nobody's a hero. These are all adults. They didn't want to hear that. They wanted me to take a side. I'm not. Rude Girl says, Queen, you're preaching today. People are obsessed with everything and nothing that involves them. People don't want. People are, a lot of us, many of us, we got to be careful. We're stuck in this constant evolution, this constant rotation of being sensationalized, of sensationalism. And we constantly want to be stimulated, not challenged, stimulated. Feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me. Tell me what I need to hear. Tell me what I need to hear. Attack Jackie. Attack Chantel. Attack her. Attack. Oh, that's good. That's good. Sensationalism. Attack. And that's a component of negativity. My thing is, how do we get here? You failed your children. You allowed that's a tough conversation. I don't like you. I'm not coming back. Please don't. Please don't. That's all I'm saying. Now, Jackie abused the first daughter by coining her the fat black one and put her on a treadmill for hours. And when Jackie was not home to watch her, Chantel, the youngest daughter, was in charge of watching Takara and was supposed to time her and tell Jackie how long did she walk on that treadmill, and also watch her food intake. Y'all don't want to talk about that. I don't care. Y'all don't want to talk about that. All of that comes into play for us not to agree, but to have a better understanding of how they got here. It's important to have an understanding of why Jackie would abuse her daughter like that. She was abused. So when people don't get therapy and they continue this cycle of abuse, it continues to show up. I'm not shocked that Chantel pushed her. Ain't nobody had intensive therapy. Jackie didn't have to. Jackie was selling herself on the streets. That's a sign of abuse. Listen, it's just more sophisticated now. Let me tell you how it shows up now. how you could tell some of these girls have been abused on Instagram? Let me tell you how. And I might just drop the link. Lux Pearl says, I love it over here. I'm going to disagree, but I ain't going nowhere unless, no, I love it when y'all disagree. To me, it's a great conversation. It's the ones that want to become toxic, and they get so mad and angry about a disagreement, right? That they want to start to insult you. I'm not going to let that happen to me or my audience. No, I love it that y'all. So let me tell you how you can spot it. Watch this. It's okay. It used to be different back in the days. Jackie prostituted herself out, right? And that's why I strongly believe, and if you ask her, I don't know if she's admitted to it yet, Jackie was probably sexually abused, because in order to put your body out there like that as a woman, that's probably one of the first indications in most situations when we're talking about adverse childhood experiences, that she was probably sexually touched in a way where she didn't get a chance to say no. Watch this. Prostitution. Let me give you the flip side of that, but it's a little bit more sophisticated. These women, young and old, on Instagram is another example of that. There's just more benefits that come with the package. Promiscuity, over and over and over, is often an indication of childhood sexual abuse. Extreme promiscuity. But it's just cleaned up a little bit better. Back in the day, and I'm not crying, to the lady that said I cried and I broke down. And I was crying. She said I cried, and that's how she knows I'm a motherless daughter. Y'all, listen, these young girls, these younger women, some of them older because they out there delicious, and all of them, they still out here trying to get it how they get it. It's often an indication that they were sexually abused. Diamond, what's the girl named Diamond, the body? Sexual abuse. Everybody's fucking, she slept with over such and however many men. And in my head, I wanted to cover that a while back. I said, but how did she get there? And I thought, nah, they're not ready for that kind of talk. Yeah, she did sleep with him because somebody taught her that you don't own your body. I do. You don't own your body. I do. And guess what? Now these girls and these women, young and old, are saying, fuck it. Pay me for it. It was taken when I was little, but pay me for it now. I'm going to get flued out. It happened to me anyway. Hell, I may as well get paid for it. And now I can do it in such a beautiful way. I'm going to just slap the word influencer, model on it. That is just trauma manifested in a package, a beautiful package. And I'm going to be honest with you. When those girls are doing that, it's not because they don't like themselves. Well, part of it is, but they're also getting their licks back with these men, these rappers. And I'm not saying the rappers took it, but when they're doing that and talking crazy, and you gonna give me and you gonna buy me this, they're talking to that abuser. You get what I'm saying? That's why you have young girls so rough. I don't give a fuck about no nigga. A nigga can never. They're talking to that abuser. So don't come over here making up stuff. You see, that's what I'm saying. You're a perfect example of hearing what you want to hear. When did we get to the point of putting your hands on your mother and getting praised for her? Who gave her a round of applause? Who gave her a round of applause and said, good job, Chantel? Please, Jesus, take the wheel and invoke understanding, and let this lady not lean on her own understanding, but to hear the word that is being taught and what we're saying. Who praised Chantel for what she did? That's all I'm saying. Y'all hear what y'all want to hear to make yourselves feel better. Ain't not one person praised Chantel. Not one. Nobody says she was right. The question is, how do we get here? And that's what I mean. I cannot Fruit Gummy said, think of the girls that get flued out to Dubai. Yes. And that's what I mean. The rhetoric, the notion, the lies. The lies that y'all would sit here and tell yourself because you disagree and you close your ears. The reality Grizzly says Chantel was asking for it all season. What she was asking for was attention and love. If you look on the other side of, do you know people will fuck with you just to get your attention and your love any way they can get it? Is it an excuse for her behavior? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But don't be coming over here talking about we praising Chantel for pushing her mom. But you don't talk about the abuse, healing. You didn't say nothing about Jackie calling her daughter fat and black, and you better walk your ass on that treadmill. You don't want to talk about the point where Jackie allowed her daughter to be sexually molested. What about that? She's getting praise for it right now. She's being featured on Basketball Wives. A lot of you are calling her a great mother. You praising her for that. You praising her for that. You ain't got nothing to say about that. And that's what I'm talking about. I can only imagine kids that have nowhere to go with some of you women in the comments that'll put a man or anybody else before a child that comes to you and say, I've been abused. And y'all are so focused on the women and the mothers, you don't even hear the child. And why didn't you tell you? I saw you on YouTube. Mama, you remember when everybody came out about Bill Cosby? When these women start coming out about Bill Cosby, the men were mad. Do y'all not remember the men were so upset? They were saying, y'all lying. The women are lying. This is a money grab. This is this and that. And the women, people were telling men, be careful what you write on social media. Your children, your daughters may be watching and listening. Maybe just be careful what you say in your house because you could be around a family member, not necessarily yours or somebody else that may have gone through all of this and wanted to tell and hear you talking and say, nah, ain't nobody gonna believe me. Listen to mama in there. Listen to daddy in there. That's all I'm saying. Simple Yes Stylish says, yes, we remember the men were mad about the women that came out about R. Kelly too. Look, the children. Because those, see, people say, well, R. Kelly, a lot of men say, listen, they all lying. R. Kelly and P. Diddy. P. Diddy got a different stance on as it relates to the women. R. Kelly, come on, bro. You was messing with kids. Lock him up. Lock him up. You were messing with children. Lawlence Blair, I hope I'm saying it right. Honestly, I haven't seen anyone refer to Jackie as a great mom. Oh, I have. I heard it. I have. Jackie isn't wrapped too tight and was neglectful as a mom. Chantel is 30 plus and a mom. Seems she's a Jackie Jr. They both are, right. Jackie, I heard somebody say it. And people, listen, some of us are so focused on material things. We think just because Jackie took her to red carpet events, that makes it okay. No, it's not. That can only get you so far. And we highlighted that yesterday. Even for Jackie, you could tell something is off about Jackie, that there's a void in Jackie, even with her being on Basketball Wives, one of the longest running wives. She is a basketball wife, but that abuse is eating her inside out. If you don't get therapy, I'm not going to say it's too late, but I will tell you this, the longer you wait, the more work you have to do. The more work you have to do. Start putting them kids in not just in therapy and getting their asses to moving. Sports, piano, whatever it is, right? Oh, address Hershey's question. Listen, y'all. I don't monitor the chat when I'm doing this. You know how many comments come in that I would have to track down? Hershey, rewrite your question or send it in a super chat. Send it in a super chat. I'm not stopping my show to scroll through all the way to find a question. You're going to have to highlight it. Send it in a super chat. Thank you. Actually, let me highlight the super chats. Thank you, Destination Sunrise, for the 10-piece and a pepper. She says parental abuse is real, but at some point, the person being abused has to break the cycle. Chantel, why choose to join the platform of your abusive parent? Is Doug held accountable for allowing it? I think you're 1,000% correct. You're 1,000% correct. I have no rebuttal to anything that you've said, period. Sexy RN, thank you for the 5-piece and a pepper, says, let us pretend we are intelligent. Let us stop creating false narrative to support our arguments. Corey, thank you for the 5-piece and a pepper. She says, pause, process, ponder, pray before you proceed. Excellent advice. Excellent advice. Okay, let me go to, Sexy RN gifted 5 Queen Sheba Darling memberships. So if you just got to notice that you're a new member, thanks Sexy RN. All right. Sam, member for 15 months, says, I'm in intense therapy because of my mom. And you know what, y'all, that's a good step in the right direction. Now, I'm going to just run this clip down for y'all real quick. This isn't to change anybody's mind. That's not what I'm here for. That's not what I'm here for. I just want to show you how it looks from a psychological perspective and also body language when people choose to engage and disengage. I'm going to pause it a lot and really break down what I am seeing in the confrontation. Give me 1 second. And I'm going to drop the link as well. Well, let me see this. After I break it down, would y'all like for me to open up the lines about the fallout and the spillover, how some mothers are taking it too far with their attacks in the comments because they didn't like the fact that the commentary did not rip Chantel apart. And we actually I met her with a little bit of empathy and understanding, and I held Jackie's feet to the fire as the mother to say, how did we get here? How did you raise your child or didn't raise her where she feels like she could put her hands on you? And I highlighted the abuse in the home that still has not been acknowledged and or talked about or addressed in family therapy. Mary Willis says, I thought I was a perfect mother, but I wasn't. I hurt sometimes. And Mary, how did you come to that conclusion that you wasn't? Is it because your children said something to you? Or how did you come to that conclusion? Okay, let's run down the video real quick. Y'all are saying, yes, open up the lines. Here we go. And then I'll open up. And y'all, you can say what you want to say. Just don't be attacking people because they disagree with you. That's all I ask. But other than that, you can say what you want to say. Hold on. That's Ming Lee. All right, I think I got it. Let me make sure I got the right clips. I think I have it. Here we go. I'm going to pause it and just walk a couple of things, and then we're going to open up the lines. And thank you, everybody, for being here. We had to come back and spend a block on this. The Reality Grizzly says, I could never stand up against my mom and call her all kind of bitches. That's true. That's true, but it works both ways. They're one and the same. Jackie called her daughter a bitch. Could you also watch your child get abused sexually? See, that's what I'm saying. We're talking about one side of the coin without addressing the other. If your child, if your niece, if your nephew came to you and said, Uncle, Daddy, so-and-so has been touching me, would you put a child on a treadmill for hours at a time because they're fat and black when you're the one that buys the food? So we can't talk about one side without talking about how we got here. I could never. I won't stand up against my mama or anybody else's. But I'm not Chantel. I know what I would or wouldn't do. But when we factor in everything that's going on in that house or went on in that house, and it's still spilling over today, what's your take on that? And that's what I'm asking the audience to do. Challenge yourself to look at the bigger picture and then see what you come up with. Is it the same notion, or do you have more to say? And I'm going to open up the lines. That's how I like to look at a thing, like a chessboard. Here we go, y'all. Let's see. I gotta take this down. And thank you, everybody. Y'all, we shucking and jiving on this Wednesday. Here we go. No, today is Thursday. I said Wednesday. All right. I'll be pausing.
You look good.
I want to go back. Look at both of their eyes. Look at Jackie's eyes. Look at Chantel's eyes. There's no good here in this setting. They're both putting on for the cameras. Look very closely at the direct, toxic, dark eye contact between mother and daughter. They're both engaged non-verbally. Watch this. Hold on. I got to start it all over. Here we go. Pay attention.
Hi, Vanna.
Look at the eye contact right here. Chantel, Jackie, Chantel.
You look good.
Jackie's not smiling with her eyes. Neither is Chantel. Let's continue. Why is that important? Because you can tell what a person really means and thinks. Eyes are not letting them, but she's doing it for the camera. Both of them.
That's what you came to do?
I came to listen instead of talk.
When we were in Vegas, did you not talk about Brandy to me the whole time?
Shanny, first of all,
These are rhetorical
Okay.
yes or no questions.
before we even start talking about these other broads, let's
That's what
talk
I'm
about
here to
me
do.
and you. When we decided to sit down,
We
was
didn't
to
decide
see-
anything.
Okay.
I decided to sit down.
Chantel.
You've been around me on 3 separate occasions, and you walked away like a cowardly lion every single time. That's the truth.
What I will not deal with is
I don't. You
I
can
didn't
get up
come
and
to
go at any
argue.
time.
You see both of their hands moving and it's one another saying, you see, we missed it. It was very quick. But both of them have something.
and I
And
will
I didn't
not
either.
listen.
And I'm not going to tolerate your disrespect
Okay,
either. I'm
well-
not afraid of you.
Why would she say that to her mom? I'm just asking. All right, that's what I said. We have to take it. I'm not afraid of you. Let's continue.
You're not going to
Oh my
police
God,
what I
my
say.
daughter is
You're not going to police what I say.
so
I'm
much
not
like me.
15, 16
Okay,
year old
okay, okay,
Chantel.
okay,
You
okay.
can't
I'm not 15, 16-year-old Chantel. You can't bully me anymore. Are we justifying the physical altercation? No, because they both were wrong. But you have to take into account what the hell is going on in y'all's house.
bully.
Hi, Vanna.
All right, here's the
Sure.
confrontation.
No, I'm not going to stop,
Okay.
and I'm not going to let up. And I'm
Well,
going to
guess
speak
what
the
I
truth
want
to
you to do? I
every
want
single
you to
time. I
get
have
up.
zero respect.
I want
When Jackie's asking Chantel to stop, I believe Jackie's saying, keep our business in our household. We not doing this on camera. So throughout the season, when Jackie, according to Chantel, would leave, it's because there could be a suspicion from Jackie that Chantel was about to expose her as a mother and tell on reality television everything that has happened as it relates to the abuse in the home. In the home. Let's continue.
you to get up and leave
Zero
my room.
respect for
Get
you.
up and leave my room.
Zero.
So this is Jackie's room. This is not Chantel's room. That's important to know because somebody put in my comments, Chantel would not give Jackie enough room to leave. That's Jackie's room.
Zero
Okay,
respect
bye-bye.
for you. Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank
Please,
you.
You look very
Thank you
cute.
for wasting my time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, girl.
Bye-bye.
Have a great night, girl.
Bye-bye.
You have a
will.
good night.
Watch this. Jackie's not triggered by anything. Chantel said, you have a good night, girl. Bye-bye.
Good night, sweetie. Good night.
Be well.
Good night. I will.
Still not triggered. Be well. I will.
Help. That's a much.
Seek help. Are y'all listening? Seek help means there's a lot going on with my mom that y'all aren't aware of. I'm not justifying it, but look at the insults that are flying back and forth. Still not triggered. Oh, she keeps mentioning Chantel's looks. Ah, that one slipped by me. Seek help. Bye-bye. I will. Jackie said that's a much better exit.
Much better exit.
You right.
Good night.
You right. And
I
you
love
think-
you.
There's a hidden meaning in that only the two of those know. I don't know what that means, but they know what it means.
You look better?
Bye-bye.
Do you think you look better? Do you?
Okay. There is a competition between Jackie and her daughters. And Chantel comes back. Whatever the insult, it's like a dog whistle. Only they know what it means. And Jackie struck and triggered Chantel in that moment regarding either her body or her looks. Because then Chantel turns around and says, so you think you look better than me? Basically. And I told y'all about that yesterday. I said Jackie has somehow managed to sexualize her lighter daughter as it relates to Doug. To me, I felt a nastiness, a weirdness about when I think it was either episode 1 or 2 when Jackie was like, my husband. And I was like, what a minute. That felt different to me as a woman. Why are you saying that to your daughter? Almost as there's like a sexualized, like you're sexualizing this girl's relationship with her father in some dark, twisted way to make it feel uncomfortable for her as a child, as a young lady. Right? Okay, so now we see it. It's happening right here in real time. Jackie struck a nerve. Jackie struck a chord. They're having this battle that only the two of them know what it's about. Chantel was not triggering Jackie with anything. Jackie hit her where it hurts, her body, her looks. And then Chantel comes back when she was on her way out the door to say, so you think you look better than me? You think you look better than me? Let's go. Let's pick it up.
Do you think that you fixed the situation?
No, I don't.
Do you think you fixed the situation? I don't know what they're talking about.
You're sitting here looking
don't.
stupid.
I don't.
Look how you
I
look
don't.
as a mother, Jackie.
That's when Chantel got her lick back. Triggered her. Now she gets up in her own room. Remember, this is her room. And I tried to break it down to y'all yesterday. I said, Jackie made a decision, an intentional decision in this point, in this moment, that I'm going to engage you, bitch. Let's go. Right, wrong, or different, I'm calling it out so you can understand. Chantel, when she came back, made the decision, I'm going to engage you.
If you don't
Look how
get
you look as a mother.
Get out of my room.
Don't touch
Jenny,
me.
I will
Don't.
Bitch, I'll knock you out. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go.
Bitch,
Let me go. No.
Bitch, I'll knock you out. Chantel responds, you dumbass bitch.
You guys
You put your hands on me?
Let me
That's
go.
the end of it.
This is mother and daughter biologically, but they are not mother and daughter on a spiritual level.
That's the end.
You
Sure.
stop.
No, I'm not going to stop.
Okay.
And I'm
That's it. That's all. Let me drop the link. Mother and daughter biologically, but not on a spiritual level. Hey, say y'all ain't gonna act like I didn't clock that Doug T first now. Hold on. Listen, you did you? All right, we're gonna give you some credit now. We don't want you out here acting a fool. Let me pin the link to the top of the chat. Ooh, they up here. Fruit Gummy, welcome. What are your thoughts, Queen? You got the floor.
Hey, Queen. I just wanted to call out that I think it further speaks to Jackie's toxicity as a mother. And while we have to start at the root, the fact that in both of the clips you showed, she made sure to make comments about Chantel's looks, but it was a nice nastiness to it. In the other scene, when she walked up, she said, well, you look cute today. You look nice. And she's done that in other scenes. So the fact she chose to do that in this moment while they're in a heated argument further goes to what you're saying about look at the root of who she is as a mother. And that's just all I wanted to further call out.
All right, all right. Why do you think that is? Just real quick, what do you think is the deal with Chantel's looks?
I think for two things. So a while back, Chantel, when she was dating, it was a basketball player. They got into a pretty public like breakup, and he actually called her fat. And Chantel was trying to break into modeling back then. So I think, and I think Chantel might have some body dysmorphia or images problems. I don't know, but I think it still would probably come back from Jackie, because think about it. If Jackie made her first daughter run on a treadmill and make Chantel watch her, what in terms of body figure and body image did she instill in Chantel when she was a kid?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Picture me crafting. It ain't about me. Stop saying I got it wrong. It's my opinion. Queen, you got this all wrong. No, I don't. It's my opinion. Now, if you want to come up and speak your piece, come up, but it ain't about me. Just like you have an opinion, I have one. Don't fixate on me. Fixate on basketball wives.
May I also ask one other thing before you go to the next person, Queen?
Yep.
Yesterday, you ended the live and you said if we were talking about a guy that had, say, hit his wife, the first thing we would say is, what did the parents instill in him? I want the people that are disagreeing with you looking at, taking a neutral stance to really think about that question. If, say, Jackie was someone you didn't like, y'all would be going up for what Queen is saying. Or if the roles were reversed and this was a guy, y'all would say, what kind of mother or what kind of father did he have? What kind of household did he grow up in? And even in that, it still goes back to the root of their parents. So why isn't the same grace and outlook being given for Chantel in this situation? It goes back to the parents. And we can't overlook and say, well, you're an adult, you need to get over it. Some of y'all in the comments are still struggling with things that are manifesting in your life. And you get upset if people say, well, you're an adult and get over it. It's not that simple.
Ooh, all right. SD, welcome. What are your thoughts? Good morning.
Hi, Queen. Thank you for letting me up. So yes, I have a mother worse than Jackie. From the things that they're saying, I know my story. I know my struggles. But at the end of the day, I'm not Queen. I'm not Team Jackie. I'm not Team Chantel. But I just feel like the conversation keeps being one-sided about what Jackie is doing, because we all know Jackie is a fool. We all know Jackie was toxic. We all know how Jackie is and was before this situation with Chantel came about. So we didn't expect any different from how she's going to act with her daughter, because we've heard the stories. The only problem I'm having is this one instant, and I hope everybody watched the season. It's not about the things that Jackie has done, because we know Jackie is a fool. We know she's horrible, but it's the things that Chantel is also doing. So it's like when we're describing, hey, look at how Jackie looked at her. Look at how okay. And then look at how Chantel responded. It's like we're not pointing out both of their toxicities, because once you get a certain age, she's not a little kid anymore. Just like me, I'm in therapy. I can't keep blaming every move and every response that I have from what I went through my childhood. You know what I'm saying? So if I was molested and then I molest somebody, oh, well, I was molested. I was never healed from that. I was a motherless child because I was a motherless child. Can't blame everything I do. That's the root of why I might be having these problems, but I can't blame my actions. That's what the therapist said. You can be mad and pissed off all day long, but me calling my mom bees, me doing this, me recruiting her coworkers, I can't. I'm sorry.
When did you hear her call her mama B? In that scene or before that?
No, be in this whole season. That's why I said I want people to have watched the whole season, because we know Jackie's a fool. She called her bees. She let her friends call her bees. She recruited her coworkers. This you a new hire in your mama's job. Why are you saying you get to pick a side? You got to be with me or yeah, that dumb bee. Letting Brittany call her dumb bee. That's where you getting out of line. That's the part I have. You can have your feelings about your mom, be against your mom, because I'm that person. You know what I'm saying? But I just didn't like how she handled it. So we need to address her. Oh, yes, Jackie. Yes, Jackie, doing all this in front of her friends when you have an audience. What is that all about? So I'm like, let's address both of them.
Okay, don't answer this. I want you. Normally I kick people down after they talk. Not because I'm being rude, so I can get everybody else. I'm gonna ask you to stay. Don't answer this question now. How do we get here where your daughter can call you a bitch? How do we get here where your daughter feels comfortable not taking your side with other young ladies and other women disrespecting you? How did we get here where Jackie's daughter can push her up against the wall? Think about that. I'll come back to you. I'm gonna take you off if you're still here. Darlene, welcome. What are your thoughts? I forgot to say everybody has 45 seconds. I'm so sorry. Hey, Darlene, welcome.
Hey. So I just wanted to touch on what you pointed out as far as like the dog whistle between Jackie and Chantel when they're commenting and making references to each other's looks. What I'm surmising from that is that when narcissistic tendencies tend to show up in a toxic relationship, the number one thing that narcissists, want to do is control their public image and public persona. So I think the reference to their looks is more so how they're showing up in public, how they're displaying themselves in public, because behind the scenes, they've had far worse arguments and confrontations. Maybe not physical, but they've had far worse, explosive arguments. And so in front of the camera, now they're trying to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, toss it towards each other as like who looks the worst. And another thing I wanted to comment on was the reference to Jackie being possessive over her husband as it relates to her daughter's relationship with her dad. I think Jackie is just severely broken on the inside, and that love, that the father is supposed to have towards the daughter, she's possessive over it. And I think that's where that weird, connection comes from. So that's just what I wanted to highlight and touch on.
All right. Well, thank you, Darlene. That's Darlene. Listen, thank you so much, Darlene. I'm gonna drop you down, and it's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. It's not an easy breezy, beautiful cover girl conversation. But I do want to say this. I saw something. Hold on. Oh. Hold on, y'all. I saw something. Give me 1 second. This one. Black Pearl says Chantel is an adult. She antagonized Jackie the whole season. I agree. I'm not disagreeing. How did she learn that behavior? Because her mother antagonized them in the house. Your kids pick up from you your fighting style, your coping style, your emotional stuff, positive or negative. If you like to cuss motherfuckers out when you get mad, they gonna grow up to be cussing sailors. If you like to antagonize and bully in your house, they gonna do the same thing. You are giving them the tools that are in your arsenal. Sexy RN, welcome. What are your thoughts?
Hi. I really don't watch the show. I love listening to your commentary because I can pretty much
You're
get the
really,
gist
really
of it.
low. Can you speak up just a little bit?
I Sorry, can you hear me better now? Hold on, let me. Is that better?
Yep. Keep going.
Okay. So I listen to allegations of abuse, but
Actually, no. Hold on. Pause. Can y'all hear her? SD, real quick. Can you hear her?
Not really. It's going in and
Okay.
out.
I'm gonna drop you down. Come back at Sexy RA. Your mic is going in and out. I thought it was me. I'm a Dazzle. Welcome. What are your thoughts?
Hello, good morning, good morning. Okay, so here's my thoughts. I do not trust everything that Chantel says, and the reason why I don't is because she tells half stories. The whole season, she did tell half stories to Evelyn and them. So the fact that you can tell half stories and don't tell the whole truth means that I cannot trust you in everything you're saying and everything that you're saying that you've been through. That's for one. For two, I do feel like when it comes to the whole thing with Doug, I feel like what they're doing is they're actively participating in the tug of war. If you notice, Chantel runs back and tell her brother and her father a half story, and then Jackie runs back and tell the father, her side of the story. So what they're doing is they're putting Doug in a situation where he has to pick a side, and he doesn't really want to pick a side. So they're technically both fighting over Doug. It's not just Jackie. But I don't trust everything that Chantel says. You
All
can't.
right. All right. Let me ask
All
you this
right.
real quick, and I'm gonna drop you down. Do you believe Chantel
Mm-hmm.
was sexually molested?
To be honest with you, and I'm going to sound very heartless, that
Okay.
because I have seen things on these
No,
internet streets.
it's just a simple yes or no. Do you believe she
No,
was
I
sexually
don't.
molested? Okay.
I
All
don't.
right.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you, Dazzle. Dazzle says, I don't believe you. I think you lied about being sexually abused as a kid. Sexy RN, welcome back. Let me see if your mic is working. Sexy RN in 5, 4,
Can
3.
you hear me?
Okay, go
Sorry.
ahead.
Am I good now?
Yep, you got it. You
Okay.
got it.
So I really want to address what you started talking about in the first place. I just don't understand why people are so triggered to argue about this for 2 days. I think people need to look in the mirror because this is not our lives. These are people we don't know. And it's a good conversation to have, do you know, for discussion, but this should not be so triggering where people are messaging you or arguing in chat, being disrespectful. Like, it shouldn't be. So I just really want people to look at their own selves and their own lives and what is so triggering about this, that you're making up narratives, you're arguing with people. It, it's not good for your health. So it's a great discussion, but let's, it doesn't make sense to me. That part doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming up and just sharing your notion on that part. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. That's Sexy RN. I see everybody hang tight. I like how y'all are keeping in mind that other people are waiting. So thank you, everybody, for keeping it short and sweet, simple yet stylish. What are your thoughts? Welcome.
Hi, Queen. Hi, Palace. So I want to thank you, first of all, for replaying the clip because I was able to assess the whole situation with a fresh pair of eyes today. And I still stand by what I said yesterday in regards to Chantel just closing that door with her mum, because sometimes closure doesn't require you to have a conversation with the person that hurt you. Closure just requires you to close that door on your own and move on. But based on the clip and just analyzing it today, Chantel is a product of her environment, just like you said. She is her mother's child through and through. The way they argue with each other is the same. The way they go back and forth with each other is the same. The way they're competing for the number one spot in Doug's life is the same. The way people are saying that Jackie brings up Doug all the time, Chantel does the same. She also does it with her brother. She calls her brother to complain about her mum. She really is her mother's child. I actually do believe her. I didn't watch the whole season. I only watched 3 episodes, the first 2 and this most recent one. But I actually do believe that she was abused. And I also want to factor in the trauma that she must have experienced being told to watch her older sister run on the treadmill for a certain period of time. That is also a form of abuse that I think we're missing.
And you know what? Thank you for saying that. Can I ask you this? It's a very personal question. And if you don't want to answer it, don't answer it. But I think
Okay.
I know it. Are you a mother?
Yes, I am. I have 3 children. I have a 17-year-old son, a 9-year-old daughter, and a 5-year-old daughter. And I would never, especially like because the conversation is about daughters, I would never put my daughters or my son, of course, I'm not dismissing him, but I would never put my daughters in that position. I would never dismiss my daughters if they told me that someone had hurt them. Even when they come home from school and say, oh, this person pushed me or this person put sand in my hair and stuff like that. You know, I'm sitting down, I'm listening to them. Yep. I'm having conversations with them. I'm embracing them. I'm allowing them to be who they are. I would never dismiss them ever. And I would never put my 5-year-old in a position where she has authority over my 9-year-old. That's crazy. So I actually do believe Chantel was abused.
And thank you for saying that, because you're one of the few mothers that have come up here to acknowledge the abuse in both sides of the coin and say, I stand where I stand. Chantel was wrong, but also those kids were abused. So thank you. And that's why I asked you that, because everybody else, it doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Queen.
All right, Hershey, welcome. What are your thoughts?
Hey, Queen. You know, I give my respects to the moderators and everything. I really wanted to know, because I kept asking, I did put a color on it. I don't think you saw it. What do we actually know if the sexual allegations are true?
Do we ever know?
Is that fact?
Let me ask you
and
this.
That's the
Hold on.
Okay.
Do we ever know? When a kid comes to you, because she went, allegedly, she went to her mom when she was younger and said it. Do we ever know when a child comes and say, Mama, he touched me, she touched me? Continue.
No, we don't ever really know. However, me as a mom, I'm going to take the steps to make sure that my child is telling the truth by taking her to the doctor, what's going on. But first of all, I've instilled in my child the importance, the consequences and stuff of lying, because you could get a whole lot of people in trouble. She understands that. She gets the impact of that. So I can easily say that I will believe my daughter, because she know an allegation like that could lead to a whole lot of trouble, because mommy gonna go full force or whoever, you know what I mean? And mommy could get locked up. So she knows the depths of that. So I can honestly say that if my child comes to me with that, it's automatically on go, because I know she knows the consequences of lying to me, you know? So I totally get that aspect of it. And I honestly get the aspect of being with having to think about your looks. I was the darker child in my family, and I understand everything, when it comes to being that way. So I get it. But that's the only thing that I actually get. I just wanted to make sure that the allegations were true, because still I just couldn't even get past calling my mom by her name. Y'all would have witnessed me getting off the floor. I'm sorry.
No
With
problem.
her, me calling her by her name. So
All right.
I just wanted to get the facts. That's all.
All right. Well, thank you, Hershey. And let me just say this. Thank you, Hershey. I love when people come up here and really speak their mind, because she said, is it even true that she was sexually abused? A lot of people think that. They don't say it. And this isn't even specific to Chantel at this point, if you ask me. This is just how people think when kids claim that they've been touched, raped, molested, or whatever, right? Here's the thing. I don't lead in with that with children. You know what I'm saying? When a kid comes and they're able to depict and describe, God forbid, if somebody did something to them, I'm going to the authorities. God forbid, you know what I mean, or whomever. I'm going straight to the authorities. I mean, I guess I don't know, like how y'all think, but to me, I would give a kid a benefit of the doubt. Like, I'm not trying to pick apart if a kid is telling the truth or not. Like, most kids, not all, most kids. I know some kids are lying or lie, but most kids don't, based on statistics, don't lie about that. And if there's a time that they do lie, it's because a parent has conditioned or made them lie. Yvette, what are your thoughts? Welcome.
How you doing, Queen? Thank you again. Today, I was called in yesterday. I wanted to say two things. The first one is about Doug. I stay in Dallas, and when Doug played for the Mavericks, Jackie had a hard time with reporters going back there, talking to the men after the game and stuff like that. So to me, Doug he know what type of woman Jackie was. He should have nipped that in the butt. And I think he really knows that those girls are not lying. That's number one. And number two, like I said yesterday, a twist. This is another twist. Have anybody ever thought about Jackie really did not want any more kids, and especially girls? Whatever she went through in her life, I think that Jackie just did not want I'm not gonna say kids, but girls. You know that she always something come up with the two girls. You never hear anything about the boy or anything like that. Something devastating happened to Jackie. Jackie never did get help. And Jackie, I don't know if she just don't want her girls going through that, or she can't get out of her mind, and she treating the girls the same way she was treated whatever happened to her. She's doing those girls the same way. And I really don't think Jackie wanted girls. I really don't think Jackie wanted to be a girl mom. And
All
thank you
right.
so much.
No, that's a great point. Thank you, Yvette. That's Yvette Robinson. Listen, y'all, I'm kicking everybody from the studio if you've already come up, because I got to get others in that have not had a chance to speak. So you can come up a little bit later. But let me kick y'all from the studio. You're not losing connection. It's me. Mauricio, welcome. What are your thoughts?
Hi, how are you, Queen and Palace? Can you hear me fine?
Oh yeah, you're good to go. If I can't hear you,
Okay,
I'll
cool.
Keep going.
Okay, cool. So unfortunately, I personally was raised by a Jackie Christie. And I just want to let everyone know that the sad part about it is, in my situation, my parent did not like my father and took all the aggression, anger, hate, whatever it was that she had for that man out on me. Therefore, the calling of ugly black bitches, like what you were talking about, like saying horrible things and the aggression, I developed that too, because this is my only parent. So as far as someone saying that, a child, they may be lying about abuse, it might come off like that because your abuser might say, hey, if you tell, I might kill you, which will kill your mother. And if that's your only parent, that's all you have, then yeah, things can end up sounding like a lie or ended up sounding like things are going to happen that way. So my point to all of that is to say that all of this starts off with the parent not loving or knowing themselves and not getting help for the issues and the problems that they have faced in their own personal life, and possibly having children too soon in life to figure out who they are. And that's just my personal opinion.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mauricio. Thank you for coming up. I appreciate you. All good takes. I love it when y'all share. Let's go back to SD. SD, you remember the question I asked you?
Yes, but can you repeat it so they can hear it too?
Oh, yeah. We were talking about your take is Chantel was wrong, calling her mama a bitch, pushing her mom wrong, right? And nobody's disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
And I said, before you leave, let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
As a mother, when you think, not you personally, let's just talk about Jackie. How in the hell or what did I do in my house that my daughter is comfortable pushing me against the wall and calling me a bitch? What are your thoughts?
Yes, I can say that exactly. Like I told you, I'm Chantel. I have been to the point where I have wanted to actually beat my mom because of you. It is still happening today. This wasn't just in childhood, okay? So I know exactly. But guess what? I have the restraint to know, because if I act a fool and haul off on my mom or call her bees and hoes, spiritually, I'm going to be cut off from my blessings, because that's a person, period, not just my mom. But the fact that she's my mom, I know I have all of these things, and PTSD therapist told me from my childhood. But like he said, that can't be your story. The way you react and the things that you say, that can't be the excuse because your mom treated you this way. So if I go on the job, cussing people out and acting a fool, oh, well, this is just what I saw my mom do. So, I'm not healed for that. So you just got to excuse me because I'm the victim. That's all I'm talking about. I believe everything Chantel said because I'm Chantel. I believe she's had molested, all of that. My mouth is smart, get fly, just like Chantel. You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of toxic things I used to before I got in therapy, just like Chantel. But I can't keep blaming it on my mom, although that was the catalyst of why I probably felt the way I did and riled out at people. But I can't keep using that as an excuse once you can become an adult and you can seek other methods. Because if I go to jail acting a fool on somebody and say, oh, because my mama, that's not gonna fly. It ain't nobody gonna have no sympathy for me and say that was the reason. So that's all I'm saying, and I'm not Team Jackie.
All right. All right. Thank you, SD. She came up, she spoke on it. She was a very good sport. And she let me kind of back her up against the wall and came back and still stood on business. And she said what she said. Aisha Nairi, welcome. What are your thoughts? Hold on, Aisha. Let me read my super chat real quick. You're on mute, Aisha, but give me 1 second. I got to go through these super chats. Sexy RN, thank you for the 10 piece and the pepper. Sexy RN says the only thing that will help Jackie is admitting what happened to her and what she did or did not allow to happen to her children. But if she's truly a narcissist, there is a 90% chance it won't happen. Y'all, being abused can turn you or push you into the realm where you are diagnosed as a narcissist, because narcissistic personality, it's a personality trait where a lot of people have to go in and out of different personalities to survive, either because of abuse or the parents utilize them to fulfill their own emotional desires. It's a lot of crap that could impact a child and help it, that could cause a child to grow up to be a narcissist. There's a lot of women that are narcissistic. I don't know if Jackie is or not. She behaves like that sometimes, but having a conversation, a real conversation with your daughters and acknowledging your wrongdoing as opposed to denying it would be an excellent start. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, here's another one. Give me 1 second. Sexy RN came back again with a 10 piece and a pepper. She says there is usually no physical evidence of sexual assault to a child or an adult. Yes, there is. Children are statistically known to lie in child custody cases. We should never lead with disbelief when a child. Oh, okay. There is usually no physical evidence. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. To their hymen, to their buttocks. Are we talking like rape? Are you talking molestation? Sexual assault? Do you know, y'all, they call it sexual assault with kids because they're a minor, and they don't call it rape until you're actually of age. So with sexual assault, in many cases that there can be, I'm gonna push back just a little bit. Or are you talking molestation? Because that sexual assault and molestation are two different things. Children are statistically known to lie in child custody cases. Yes, we should never lead with disbelief when a child says sexual assault. I have to agree. I agree. You always lean in and give them the benefit of the doubt. And yeah, that's cool. I see you. All right, let's go to Aisha. Welcome, Aisha. What are your thoughts? You're on mute. Aisha, you're on mute. You're going to have to unmute your microphone in 5, 4, 3, 2, and I'm going to remove Aisha. Come back up. You probably going to have to refresh. Welcome, Simple Yet Stylish. What you got?
So I also want to add this in regards to children when they are abused for the first time, especially when they're abused at a young age. Let's factor in they don't actually know what abuse is. They don't know what's happening to them until after it's happened. If their abuser says to them, shh, don't say anything. If you do, they give them threats, this, that, and the third. So what I don't understand is why people are doubting Chantel. If she was abused at a young age, she didn't know what that was. We as adults, Jackie as her mother, she knows what that was because she went through it and she is now the adult. She is the mother. So why are we doubting Chantel? It doesn't make any sense. Why are we doubting what she's saying? And secondly, the people that are putting a time frame on when she should have spoke out. Oh, if you've been abused, why didn't you say something sooner? We need to stop doing that. We can't tell someone when they should speak out. In an ideal world, it shouldn't happen in the first place. But if it did happen, yes, the victim or the survivor should be able to come and say something straight away. But the truth of it is, it doesn't happen like that all the time. Sometimes it takes years for someone to be able to open their mouth and speak out and say, this is what happened. Sometimes they deny it for so long until they feel comfortable to open up and say, yes, I went through this at the age of 12 or 10 or 5 or whatever. So I don't understand why people don't believe her. I'd prefer for you to lean in and believe her first than for you to doubt her.
Oh, that's the part I'm talking about, and that goes beyond Chantel, and it kind of gives legs to the community and the ideology of we turn a blind eye. A lot of women turn a blind eye. That's just the fact of the matter. Some of them are here in this chat to abuse in the Black community. Ain't no way. I don't believe you. You lying. You fast. You bad. You lying. You just want my man. Don't lie on your brother. You're a liar. You always been bad. You always get in trouble for lying. So that's why, listen, let me take this off. Let me take this off. Not all of y'all, some of you. Hold on. That's why I call it a toxic spillover. And I misspelled spillover. Oh, y'all, I did that bad. I should have put it together as one word, but a toxic spillover. That's why I said this conversation is bigger than just Jackie and Chantel. A lot of you are showing up in the not you here in the live comments. People are showing up. This is real. What Simple Yet Solid, hear me very carefully. This is real. This happens in families every day where people are whispering, she's lying. She's lying. Okay, I can't say it. I am on a social media platform where I get to see people from my past, high school, college, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, blah. There is a girl that I went to middle school, junior high with, and high school with. Her child's father is in prison for sexually assaulting his 8-year-old niece. I don't know the ins and outs. I just kind of went through the comments, saw that. Do you know the girl I went to school with is calling her a liar? She always been a fast ass little wench. You lying, you lying, you lying. Baby, I just kept scrolling. This happens every day. Yeah, and at 8, she was having sex anyway. She was out there. I didn't say one word. I kept scrolling. That is a phenomenon that's happening in real life. There's no public record or confirmed statement where Chantel says she was physically or sexually abused by Jackie or others. There wouldn't be. Somali, they don't post that when children tell that. That wouldn't be publicly. When children come, that's up to the parent to take them to the authorities. If your parent ignored you, there's not, number one, typically it's sealed. I don't know how it goes in Africa, but over here in the US of A, you're not going to have access to that in those sealed documents with kids coming forward. Number one, if they come to you as a parent, that's the whole point of this conversation. Jackie didn't believe her child. So she deaded the situation right then and there. That's on you as a parent. If your child comes to you in your house and say, Mama, I've been touched, and you say, get the hell out of here. It ain't going nowhere. You are the author and the finisher as the mother of your household. You wear the crown. And if you say it didn't happen, guess what? That kid has to shut up. Shut up. Because mama said it didn't happen. And then you grow up and these kids start to use drugs and they run the street and they run because little boys get touched too. And you say, well, I ain't raised them like that. Yes, you did. You told them to shut the fuck up when they came to you and told you that they were being touched by their brother, their father, their uncle, their niece. That's all I'm saying. That is not public record when kids are abused. You told them to shut up. You're the first person that they come to. And if you as a family member do not take their little hand and take them to the doctor and the police, that's how it works in the US, to put that shit on record so that justice can occur, it's done. It's non-existent. You told them they made it up by refusing to acknowledge them. Thank you, the Reality Grizzly said all that keeping it in the house is a recipe for disaster. We are so messed up as a community because you don't tell my business. You keep it in the house, you pretend it never happened. And then I'm going to let you go. I'm going to show up to your graduation. I'm going to scream and holler, my child, my son, my daughter. And I'm going to dress up the pig from the outside and put lipstick on it. And then wondering why you're struggling in life as an adult. How I See It TV. Welcome. What are your thoughts?
Hey, Queen, are you hearing me?
Yep, you good to go.
Okay. First, I just want to say that Sakari has denied that accusation and continues to deny that accusation. So I guess that's a little legal disclaimer for you. But also, I don't know how many people have watched the season in its entirety. And for me, a lot of my opinions stem from the fact that I've been watching the season since episode 1. And they started out great. It wasn't until Jackie made a comment about Brittany Renner's hijab that Chantel, I guess, was triggered by something and started to go off on her mom, even though Brittany disrespected her mom first. Chantel tells half truths. And how we know this, if we're watching from episode 1, is that she told her mom, I don't want you to get in between any beefs that I'm having with any of the women. I'm a grown woman. I push 2 kids out of my coochie too. I don't need you to get involved. And Jackie respected that boundary until Brittany Renner started putting a battery on Chantel's back, like, girl, Brandy called you a child and your mom didn't defend you. Jackie did defend her, but Jackie also tried to respect her daughter's wishes to not jump into every beef that she had. So how do you allow somebody to put a battery in back and now 4 days in Hawaii, you're going at your mom, going at your mom, going at your mom, when y'all started the season on good terms?
I get what you're saying. That doesn't
That's the
take away.
disconnect for me. And I do feel that to fluff hers. I do honestly believe that. Because you don't say in season 2 that you had a great childhood and it was your sister that had the worst of it. And then now, several years later, it's, well, I had a bad childhood too. I don't know. It's just not adding up for me personally.
Well, that's because you're starting from today. You can't take a family that had
No,
history.
I'm not starting from
Hold on,
today.
hold on. Let me finish. You can't
seasons
take.
ago.
Hold on. You can't take a season of Basketball Wives of today and put this all together for a family. It don't make sense. It's very complicated, but we have
It
to go back to
is.
the drawing board to be able to understand this web of just complexities
It
within this.
is.
Let's just take Chantel off the table. Let's forget
But
Chantel is here
Queen,
for a second. Hold on. Let's forget Chantel is here
Queen, can
for
I
a
say one
second.
more thing and then I'm gonna let you
Hold on,
answer?
hold on.
Okay.
Jackie is toxic. Forget all this
She
fighting with her
is.
daughter. Jackie, even on Basketball Wives, it's fun and it's entertaining until it starts
She's
happening in her family.
kooky, yeah.
Jackie is just Jackie. And
Hmm.
but then when it spills over to the family, it makes all of us uncomfortable. I mean, can we
Yeah.
all agree on that?
We can agree, but we also I still have to go back to seasons ago and I said that this young lady tells half truth. She does. Because she sat in front of Laura Gavon and said, I can't remember us ever taking a family picture only
Is her
for there
audio
to
like
be
kind of low?
countless amount of family pictures. I'm sorry.
Your audio is really low. Real low. I don't know where you are, but it sounds
Are you
very
hearing me now?
muffled. No, go out and come back in and recycle. How I see a TV. Go out and come
Okay.
back in. It's we can I'm listening in, but I really want you to make your points because you typically have really good points. You do, and I don't want it to get lost in the sauce. Um, oh, that's a good question. See, I missed some of what she said because her audio. Shay P says, "How do you know they're half truths?" Yeah, the audio was muffled. Thank you. I thought I was like, I'm really trying to hear her because she normally makes really good points. Okay, yeah, go in and come back out. Yeah, it sounds really bad. Okay, thank you for saying that. I was trying to be patient, but I thought it was just my end. Coco Lee says maybe part of Chantel's therapy work is confronting her biggest bully, speaking truth to the power. Oh, I never thought about that. Speaking truth to that power and ending the relationship on her terms, like she said before she got up to leave. That's a good point. How, let's just say, hypothetically, her therapist, y'all, for those of you that are tuned in, gave her the assignment of confronting her book if she's in therapy. I don't even know. So this is just hypothetically. As her therapist, do you think her therapist will be happy with the way she handled the confrontation? Now, how I see it, TV, I'm going to bring you back up. Let's test your audio.
Check, check, check.
Oh my God, much better, girl.
I don't
But I don't
think
want to
her
give them a
therapist would be
lesson in
proud of how
Basketball
she
Wives.
handled.
I don't want you to go too far back and give them a whole lesson, but just reiterate to us, what are your
Hmm.
thoughts on this entire mother-daughter dynamic?
I think, as Jackie stated in their last scene together, that before the cameras, they had no issues. I believe that. You don't move into your mother's building with her help. You don't have your mom being your savior, helping you through this custody battle, just for you to want to fight with her on a vacation because some girls are putting a battery in your back. That's my thoughts on it. It's not
I
adding up.
Okay, that's listen, and let me be very clear. I've never had that kind of confrontation with a family member. If I don't deal with somebody, I don't deal with you. We're not doing that. I'm not gonna hurt nobody I love. So I agree with y'all, but my thing is let's focus on both sides of the coin. How the hell did we get here? Because you have, even if you think about your own family and you see, I've never seen like a mother and a daughter fight in my family. I haven't.
I've never seen it either.
Yeah, but let's pretend we do. Wouldn't you be thinking, how in the hell did they get where they throwing hands? Like that's just a normal human notion. Huge question marks. Mother and daughter? That's crazy to me. What happened? What's the history between these two? That's all. I like to bring both sides of the argument. Let me go.
And it sounds like that's their dynamic because Chantel even say, "You know how I get down. You know how I get down." So I mean, it sounds like that's been their dynamic.
Because of what though?
I told you, Jackie's past is a big part of it with her mom. That has not been dealt with. And so there's a pattern of behavior that's just going to consistently continue to happen within this family, especially between mother and daughters. I hope they can get to a place of healing. It's not going to happen today, obviously, but I hope they can get there.
Okay.
I'm praying for that. Thanks for having me.
All right, no problem. Thank you for coming up. All right, LaDawn, welcome. Welcome, LaDawn. What are your thoughts?
Hey everybody, my voice is a little messed up because the surgery, but Queen, this is such a good topic. And I'm gonna say like this, how did we get here? I've been in a situation, I got one girl and 3 boys, and me and my daughter don't have the best relationship. And what I will say is sometimes us parents get put on a pedestal like we ain't human, like we ain't, we don't make mistakes or don't get it right every time. But what I would say is my mom didn't raise me because of her drug addiction. And my grandmother raised me, and my grandmother on my father's side, they all played a part. But I still wasn't raised to disrespect my mother, no matter what she did out there in the streets. I also went to jail and did things in my life in the beginning years of my kids. I've changed my life now, but in the beginning years, my boys, we've had to talk. They forgiven me. My daughter, we've had a talk. It seemed like she's forgiven me sometimes, and sometimes she can get in her way because we know people grow up and they adapt their own characters and different issues. What I see, in my opinion, with Jackie and her daughter is Chantel, because Jackie allegedly, in my opinion, was misdiagnosed or not diagnosed. I think she raised her the best way she could, and she overly did it. And Chantel learned at an early age how to manipulate to get what she wants. And Chantel is a monster now. And Jackie did play a part by the way she raised her. Not saying that Jackie's totally at fault, because once you become an adult, you tend to start thinking differently. I don't want for my kids what was for me. So I'm going to do X, Y, Z to change certain things so it doesn't, keep going that way. That was one of the factors on why I changed my life. So I want to say that Chantel, if she didn't come on the show the way she did, I would say, well, maybe some things triggered her, but she came on with a mission, and she went with the ops automatically to go against her mother, and she kept picking and picking and picking. And I'm going to tell you like this, Queen, like you said about that drink, what would you do? I don't care what mistakes I made in my life. If any of my kids raise their hand at me, I'm taking whatever's near me and I'm going to knock them down. I don't care. Don't put your hands on your parents or your grandparents. You don't do it, and she wanted a reaction and she got it. She just didn't think that she was going to get the outpour that she got on her end, because people are seeing how she kept poking, and Jackie did not want to deal with this on screen. If we got a family issue, which we do, let's go to Ayanla Fix My Life. Let's go to a family therapist. But you bringing it on this show, and you moved in my building, and I can help you when it's convenient for you, but then when you want to torture me, you want to act a fool? No. So in this sense, I think that Chantal was wrong putting her hands on her mom, and Jackie responded.
All right.
Thank you, Queen.
No problem. Excellent point. Listen, somebody said, and they gonna knock you back. Y'all are so petty. Y'all are so petty. Listen, I choose not to take that route because I understand where fights can go. I'm wise enough to understand that some people will fight. It may not just be this exchange of you push me and I punch you and it's over. They had people there to break it up. That's why I say, me personally, I don't touch. Because what happens when nobody's there to break it up? People be pulling knives on their own family members. It can get real nasty real quick. And a lot of times when you see things go on in the news, it's that it all happened so fast. And when you're dealing with the toxic relationship of abuse, invalidation, mothers not acknowledging that their daughters were mistreated, you slapping around your kids, and then as adults y'all get into a squabble, somebody better break it up, because there's two sides of rage in that room. The one that wants you to shut up and pretend that they're a good mother, and the one that wants you to shut up and love me as a daughter. And when that rage comes, that's why they both was bitch, bitch, bitch. That's rage. That's prolonged hostility. It can get real dangerous. And the only reason why it stopped when it stopped is because they had people in there. But you fuck around and get into that kind of fight with two individuals that have been abused and have not gone through therapy, somebody might die. Somebody may come up out of that mofo heavily wounded. It happens so quick. Sometimes you see it all the time in the news. That's why I personally, it ain't even about my daughter hit me. It's about where can this go? And how quickly can this spiral out of control? Because in the moment is the moment, but the outcome may not be worth the moment. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So me personally, not for being perfect, it's like, damn, it's a lot on the table between these two. And I saw that. That's why it's like, me personally, if I were Jackie, I probably wouldn't have hit back. But I guess in that moment, security, it don't matter. She knows they're going to break it up. But I probably wouldn't do that again, either one of them, if we were alone. Because that can become very, very, they're going to fight. They're going to fight. You know what I mean? If there were not, both of them have too much rage and animosity, and they're both fighting for the same things. That's crazy. Your Royal Highness says, I picked up on that. I'm not afraid of you. That means she's been afraid of her mother for a very long time. Something has happened. We should try to understand and bring light to tough issues, not judge. It's a lot. It's a lot to unpack. I have to agree. Okay, we got that one with Coco Lee. Let's go to hearing people talk makes me realize abuse is generational. I wouldn't ever get off. I wouldn't ever have to get off the floor because I call my mother by her name. I call my mother out of her name. I think that's what you meant. Yeah, abuse is generational. Can be. Nike Nelson says, I have members of my family 50 plus years old. All have said they suffered sexual abuse and they told their moms specifically, and the moms didn't believe them. Girl. I met this lady a while back on many years ago on the aircraft. Her father. Do y'all know like the Tremont House in Galveston? Tremont House, Hotel Galvez, the Strand. Her father owns all of that. That's her father. This lady is rich. Met her many years ago. She invited me to like this gala. Wonderful. Well, she does community work in Galveston, Texas, right? Where she has this house back then. And she would stand out inside of it. She would stand out in the morning outside of the house and hand out fresh fruit to all of these Black kids. White lady, right? Rich white lady. Me and her talked on that airplane for hours. And this is what I'm talking about. Developing the ability to listen, not because you agree or disagree. You're just curious. You have to become curious about people. You know what she told me? There is so much abuse, sexual trauma in the Black community. Once these kids started to trust her, not only would they come by in the morning for fruit, because many of them, their parents didn't feed them breakfast. There was no money to feed them breakfast, and they had to rely on the school. So she took it up on herself to make sure they have fresh fruit, at least on their way to school for those that would walk. But when they began to realize she was a safe place, many of them would come and confess to her and confide in her that they were being sexually assaulted in their homes. And the parents often did not believe them. The mamas did not believe them. The mamas would have these boyfriends in these houses, these men that was doing crazy shit to their children, and wouldn't believe them. And so then she and I, her name is Sheridan. She lives in Austin, Texas, and her husband is a politician. Her dad, the Tremont House, Hotel Galvez, all of Galveston is owned by her father. Of course, he passed away many years ago, billionaire. Do your research. Come to find out, she was sexually abused. sexually molested as a child, as a rich white girl, right? So she understands, or she was telling me she understands how parents don't believe you. And that's why she wanted to at least give those kids a safe place. And that's why I said, I'm happy we covered this topic. And this isn't to shame some of you, but by your reactions, you could tell some of you are some of the same women that don't believe your kids. You talk about everything except, and you highlight and you prioritize everything in those comments that were nasty, except the welfare and the well being of the children. And the children are the future. It's our job to protect them. It's our job to make sure they feel safe. It's our job to love them, to hear them, even if there's a possibility that they could be lying. It's not our job to meet them with harshness, abuse, disrespect, smack them around, call them liars, and kill them before they have a start at adulthood. And some of you, not here, but some of you that wait for lives like this to be over, and you come and you speak so harshly and so unkind. And you could tell, or it feels like you're struggling. And maybe you are that person or were that person, and your hate is being showcased in the comments. Now, the first thing I thought when that lady told me that, is damn, I'm glad she's doing this in the community, but I hate the fact that none of us thought to do it, right? This was many years ago, that none of us as Black women and men are saying, okay, we get the sports, that's cool, all of that, the rapping, but just setting up a safe place for kids that walk to school, here's some fresh fruit. I hate the fact that we don't solution for our own kind. I hate the fact that we're looking to other races to make us feel good about what happened to us. And all this woman is doing is going and buying fresh fruits, apples, banana, peaches, and plums, and standing outside her yard saying, good morning, would you like some fruit? I understand that's in all races. Who cares? I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. I'm talking about ours and what we're doing to make it right. We struggle with just a simple conversation about abuse and how it can show up in your adult kids when you don't check it or acknowledge them or meet them where they are. Chantel's a grown woman, yeah. She's a grown woman, and you can see the adverse childhood effects playing out in real time. But the fact that we don't even want to acknowledge that there's hurt and pain on both sides, we can't even begin to start the solution to the problem because don't nobody want to hear it. Because she pushed her mama. I don't want to hear, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. It ain't nothing a mother could ever do. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. Okay. And that's why we have this revolving door of poverty, homicide, rape, drugs, prostitution in the Black neighborhood because you don't care, you don't care, you don't care. And you put a fucking pin in it because she pushed her mama. That's it. Conversation ends. Nothing else. Conversation should keep going because somebody needs to hear it. Somebody needs to be able to hear it and say, okay, she's still wrong, but I played a part in it too. And it's not too late for me to go back and acknowledge the wrongs that I've done with my child, my son, my daughter. Also, men may be listening, but because y'all are so quick to throw a pin and that's it. Aggressive. Some of y'all are so aggressive as women. It's mind-blowing how aggressive y'all can be. You don't want to hear nothing outside of what you think. You don't want to meet nobody where they are. You don't give a some of y'all say, I don't give a damn. Give a damn sometimes. Just sit down and listen. You don't have to agree with her. It's okay. It takes nothing to say, damn, you're hurt. She's hurt. Man, it's mind-blowing to me. And I be thinking to myself, damn, how we get here as a group of women that we so fucking aggressive. Our first thought is violence. I don't know. Our first thought is violence when wrong, whether it's verbal infliction or physical. It's mind-blowing. I remember Shakana. Y'all remember Shakana? Tiny's friend. And they had their little show. And Shakana was hilarious when she was with Tiny. And she said, I want white people love. I remember I laughed so hard. And she said she wanted a third roll. I see you, third rail. Your device did not connect, so I can't bring you up. If you came on and I didn't click you, I'm sorry. It's because your device didn't connect. So go ahead and come back. I kicked you out. Let me repost the link. I'm reposting the link. And Shakana joked. Y'all remember when they were writing? She said she wanted white people love. And not that it's right. She said, they seem so happy and soft. Y'all, we've lost that softness as a community. I be hearing parents talk to their kids crazy. These kids bad. I know they bad. But talk to them. Lower your voice. Y'all be cursing them out. Handling them rough. There's a time you have to handle them rough. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you've tried the different way. But I don't know. I be like, man, we're in trouble. We've lost our softness as women. We've become hardened. Our first instinct is to fight, to be volatile, to go unhinged, all that stuff. And it's pretty scary because we are the examples. We don't have a lot of room. We don't have a lot of patience for people anymore. When I used to teach health and wellness classes and stress classes, and I used to be a wellness coordinator many years ago, and there's a stress management class I used to teach, right? And I had to work with doctors. It's hard working with doctors and nurses because they're very schooled and scholared individuals. Number one, you better know what the hell you're talking about when you're telling them something to do. And I used to play this game with them called Commonalities, where I would put them in groups. And I said, okay, you got 5 minutes to discover what you all have in common. And it can't be obvious. You can't say we're all white men. We're all doctors. We're all nurses. We all have on blue scrubs. It cannot be obvious. What do you have in common that you would have never known? I would give them 5 minutes. They would come back and they would come with some of the funniest examples. And what I realized is when it comes to people, all of us as human nature, most of us are not willing to sit down to explore solutions and commonalities. It's too much effort. It's too much time, which is why we have a knee-jerk reaction when we hear commentary and things that we don't like. Most of us don't have the patience and the wherewithal to explore and sit in front of somebody that we disagree with, but you can learn a lot. And sometimes those people can become some of your best friends, because you both come from separate households, different races, different ideologies, different backgrounds, and you learn that you become some of the best of friends. All because you were willing to sit down and hear each other out and appreciate each other just the way you are. It's just the way you are. So when I say that and I give you that example of that commonality challenge, therapy is the same way. It's easier. It's easier to suppress and not go to therapy because I don't want to sit here and hear all that. How I was a bad mom. That's going to make me what? Uncomfortable. It's easier to take her and put her on the red carpet. It's easier to buy her nice things. It's easier to give her a spot on Basketball Wives. And hopefully that's enough to make the pain and hurt go away. And she sees that I'm a good mom. Welcome, Kira Toussaint. What are your thoughts?
Hi, Queen Shiba. Hi, Mods. Hi, Palace. I just wanted to say whether or not you identify with Jackie or Chantel or none of them, I think what's important to take away from this discussion is that we need to practice compassion. You hit the nail on the head, Queen, when you said that a lot of us have lost our softness. And we're so angry all the time. And most of the situations we respond to is with aggression. And I think if as a palace, individually and collectively, if we take a step back and recognize that what we need is compassion, not just for ourselves, but for each other. And I think really need to get to the understanding of what compassion looks like. It means being kind to yourself, being soft with yourself first, because if you can't treat yourself that way, how are you going to treat others that way? And it means recognizing that you're human and you may have gone through some things, but it doesn't mean that it has to continue to affect how you show up in this world. And I think most of us, it starts with how we think about ourselves. A lot of us, our self-talk is very negative. And I can tell you, Queen, as someone that has had to overcome this, I got to the point where I said to myself, if I spoke to my friends the way I spoke to myself, I wouldn't have friends. And that was a turning point for me. So if as individuals in this community, if we check how we speak to ourselves and recognize, where is that coming from? Is this me, or is this something I was exposed to as a child, and begin to change that narrative, it will affect how we show up for ourselves and how we show up for others. But the key word is compassion. We need to have it for ourselves and we need to have it for others before we can really begin to see change in this community.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you for such a beautiful, beautiful notion. Thank you, Kira. All right. Lux Pearl, welcome.
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. What you got for us? What are your thoughts on today's conversation?
I just want to piggyback off of the comment that I just made, like in the chat as it pertains to having softness. Like I agree, to a certain extent that we have to do a self-check, right? Like we have to check our past and we have to check, those unseen things or those issues that we suppress, because everything eventually comes up in a different way. Whether or not, if you choose to suppress what happened to you at a younger age, of course you're going to have to end up facing it later on, and it could be karma through your kids, right? Kind of similar to what we're seeing between Jackie and Chantel. And I also just want to remind everyone that this is not just a mother and daughter thing. And I don't want to get into color, but it kind of has some effects into how we act towards our kids as well. Because I heard someone mention, well, no, that was you. You said Shakana said she want white people's love, and I think that that's so problematic to say.
No, no,
But
no. She was talking about the personification of it, the lightness of it. I understood what she
yes,
was saying, but go ahead.
yes. And you know what? To a certain extent, I kind of understand it as well. But you also can't leave out the part about like how much struggle that some have to have. There's a reason that they was able to relax in their femininity. There's a reason that some, I'm not gonna say all, because there's some Black people struggle, some white people struggle. So they have more of an edge in life to be genuinely happy, to be able to love on their kids and take their kids in and to be more relaxed. That's not something that we started out with. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more prevalent now. Like we're changing the times and we're changing things now, but dating back in the day, that's not something that Black people had. We had to struggle. So of course, within all of that breeds trauma, breeds angry people, or angry set of people, and all of that can basically lead to us lashing out on our kids. And so you got to consider that as well. Even with Jackie, like just how you're saying both of them are at fault, because they are, but you also got to consider her background. You got to consider everything that she's dealt with and the trauma that she has too. And sometimes we could just be doing our best. But even within that, our best sometimes is not good enough, which is understood. The only part that I disagree about with Chantel is, don't pick and choose when you want to like engage with me. Like if the cameras are off and you're okay with me, you're happy with me, we're going through our thing, we're figuring it out, don't get on camera and flip on me and make it something else. I just think I don't discount everything that happened with her. I question some of it, but I feel like she's flipping the switch on and off. And
All
that's the
right.
part I can't get with.
Okay. All right. Excellent points. Thank you, Lux Pearl.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Your Royal Highness, you have the floor. What are your thoughts to today's conversation? You're on mute. You have to unmute your microphone. Press it one time.
Okay, can you hear
All
me now?
right. Yep, you got it.
I have been struggling with this since yesterday. I have 9 children, 6 girls, 3 boys. I come from a 2-parent household with alcoholic and drug addiction parents. A lot of the times I was the parent, paying rent, groceries, all of that stuff. My situation with my mother got so bad that I had to take my brother in. He was 14 years old when I brought him into my home. To all of you in the chat who are questioning sexual assault, please stop. It was not until my children were in high school that I found out 3 of them were molested by my brother. 3 of my children. And because of that, some of my children are still dealing with lifelong stuff. So stop thinking that these children are lying when they say these things to you. Sometimes it's so painful, it does not come out at all, ever. My mother was molested by my grandfather, her own father, from the age of 5 till 12. That's your whole elementary. My mother did not ever disclose that to me. She told a family friend who in turn told me. So now I can understand why my mother drank, why my mother used drugs, why there were so many men in and out the home. And I vowed never to have that around my children. I was married. Probably should have left the marriage a long time ago, but I stayed married. I couldn't figure out until after the sexual assault was disclosed why one of my daughters slept in her clothes. Why are you always sleeping in your clothes? She would never answer. I didn't think anything of it. We would sleep, the old folks would call it rolling ready. We would sleep like that sometimes because we'd be out, hanging out, come in. Now it all makes sense. Now it makes sense why she slept in her clothes. When it came to my son, and it's different with boys, I have a set of twins, a boy and a girl. Both of them were sexually assaulted by my brother. In school, my son was angry. And I thought that it was because his biological father was not in his life and he would promise to come and see them and wouldn't show up. That wasn't it at all. So stop it with questioning whether they're an adult or a child if they're telling the truth. Stop it. And that's all I have to say.
Well, first of all, let's pause for a second. Thank you for coming up because I think that's a dose of reality. Um, we have the propensity to discount somebody because we don't like them. And anything they say becomes null and void because we don't like them. And I'm glad you came up here and you said, be very careful with what you say and how you say it, because these children are listening. And don't ever think you understand your kids because they're your kids. And you use the example of your daughter sleeping in her clothes. You didn't understand it. It hit you. You knew it was odd, but she didn't give any other explanation. And now you know what you know what you know. You're like, damn, it's all coming together. And y'all, that's all we try to do here on this platform. That's all I try to do is get you all to pause and think beyond what's happening in front of you and imagine both sides of that. Both of these women on these thumbnails are the same hurt little girls that have been sexually abused.
Let me say one more thing, Queen
Mothers,
Sheba.
hold on, whose mothers have failed them in the worst way. And when you don't get treatment, it plays out, whether you're on screen, and I'm gonna just say on screen, but don't take that literally. It plays out in real time, and you're just seeing a manifestation of sexual trauma and abuse. That's it. That's all. Go ahead, your Royal Highness. Nick,
I wanted to say one more thing. I was trying to help keep my siblings out of foster care. Please be careful who you bring in your home around your children, even friends, allowing their friends to spend a night, who watches your children. Come to find out, my brother had been molested. And watching him as an adult male trying to find his way in the world is so hard. It's so hard. It is so very hard. And he's so ashamed. I have some forgiveness for him because he was only 14 and I understand. He was 14 when he came to my home. His sexual assault, I'm sure, happened much younger with my mother drinking on drugs and different people in and out of her home. My brother to this day will not talk about it. Um, and it is because of my relationship with God that I do have forgiveness with him. But there are times when uh, feelings pop up and I'm very angry, um, and really want to hurt him because I'm looking at my children at the twins are 32 and my other daughter is 31 still suffer. And then this situation with Takari and Chantel where Takari allegedly sexually assaulted Chantel. This happened with two more of my children. I kept hearing one of them say stop in the tub and the other one was on top of her. And this is how it all came out. I'm like, that's inappropriate, sweetheart. We don't do that because we know we bathe our children together and they explore and, like, don't touch, that's inappropriate. And you have that conversation. So I, scolded her, like, we don't do that. And then some said, The Holy Spirit said, you need to ask a question. When I asked the question, it all came out.
What
It
question?
all,
Hold on. This is so important. And I see you, Nick. I'm coming to you. What question? I like how you say you just didn't correct your child, but you were open. And that's the empathy I was talking about. A lot of y'all, not y'all, let me say some people don't have the empathy to be able to open the conversation so that the Holy Spirit or whatever, your intuition or universe can speak to you outside of you just correcting and being authoritative. What question were you prompted to ask your child?
this was early evening. So after they had bathed and I washed them up and stuff, and I had the conversation, I went in the room and I'm telling you, Queen Ship, it was nothing but the Holy Spirit. So in all total, five of my children. So I went in the room and it just didn't sit right with me. Because I talked to her about this before. It just didn't sit right with me. So I called her in the room and I said, baby, has anybody ever touched you? I said, and you don't have to worry about being in trouble. And she said, yes. And that was how all of it came out. Five of my children in my home. You don't understand the guilt and shame that I carried for not protecting my children. I'm thankful that my children are not holding anything against me because it wasn't a situation where I was drinking or out partying. I was working. I was going to school. I was present at all the games. I cooked every day. I was there. I took my children to church, and it's hard getting 11, because I had my brother and sister at that time, 11 children ready for school, all of these things. And it was moving a family member in my home. And I'm still seeing the effects of this in my adult children.
Yes.
We've had several conversations in this chat, and I just, like I said, have been struggling to come up, but I had to today because I see the comments. And I'm telling you, ladies, you cannot ever discount a child's experience when they come to you and tell you, and pay attention to their behavior. If your child is suddenly getting in trouble in school, please have these conversations. If your child is suddenly smoking weed and they weren't before, have these conversations. If your child is wetting in the bed and they weren't before, have these conversations. If your child is very talkative and outgoing and they decide, I mean, not decide, but all of a sudden they're no longer as talkative and they become withdrawn, please check on your babies and know who your children are around.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Royal Highness. I'm gonna mute you for a second. Just to let you catch your breath. I'm so glad you came up here. I'm so glad you came up here. And one of the things that she said that stood out is she said, I can still see the impact of the abuse in my adult children. That's the whole point. It's not to justify Chantel, it's not to take either side, but it starts in the home. And even she said that, as hard as it was for her to say that, she says, as a mother, I wreck my brain. I struggle. My kids and I are good. I've forgiven myself. I'm working through this with my brother. I'm working through this with the children. Um, but as a mother, she's unpacking this. She's not pretending it didn't happen. She didn't sweep it under the rug. And she also said, I'm still seeing y'all a negative, not in a bad way. It impacts your kids when they've been abused by you or somebody else. Let's go. Your girl next door, Neek.
Hey,
Not Neek,
Queen, can you hear me? I'm
but
on my
Nick.
headpiece. I'm on track. I'm on the road. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna talk real quick. I'm gonna be a little heavy again, just to piggyback off that other caller. I wanted to call in earlier, but I'm 44, and I know y'all hear my accent. So I just want you all who were born in America to really, I guess, take advantage and never take for granted the system y'all have here. I was touched as a little girl. Okay, come to find out it was a generational curse because it happened with my mom and my aunt. I was touched by my uncle as a little girl, and I told my dad what my uncle did. So, in protection, my dad almost beat up my uncle. So I never I internalized it a certain way. Then my mom's youngest brother came in and lived with us. He told me to be quiet. He touched me as well as he had his friend touch me. I grew up not understanding what happened. So coming from Trinidad, when I came to my parents up here in America, never got the healing for it. I then went back and touched my little brother. That bothered me so much as we grow. I don't know how I stopped. I don't know if my mom, so I don't know. I don't remember. And up to this day, certain memories of things, I don't have it. I cannot remember some of the simplest things. It bothered me so much that I had to tell my brother. We had to talk because I couldn't deal with it. Then come to find out, I have my son. Uh, in that, I had to try and teach my son because of what happened to me to be mindful, to tell me what's going on. Don't let anybody touch you down there. So he came and told me my ex at the time touched him. So I didn't get mad at him. I had to go and do the research. My ex at the time got mad and didn't want my child around, but my child was a little boy. So in turn, I had that same brother come and talk to my child. So I say that to say, don't ever take for granted. If your child is coming, I'd rather the child, quote unquote, lie than to dismiss it and not find out the truth. I'm 44. Up to this day, sometimes there are days I don't feel, even though I'm moving, I believe I'm moving for my child. Some days I don't feel like I'm in this realm. I feel elsewhere. So with Chantel and Jackie, I don't take away from either of them. I blame both of them, but I will never dismiss what Chantel is saying. I can't do it. It's not within me to do. As a mother, I would never take away whether it's wrong or whether she's lying, whether we have the facts. If she says she was touched, do the research, find out. I don't like how I hear mothers today dismiss it for a man. Peen is dime a dozen. You won't ever get that child's innocence.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. And that's the point of these conversations for me. One lady was we talk about the negative, but I want to talk about the positive. One lady left in the comments yesterday. She said, thank you for hosting this conversation and not just utilizing it as entertainment. Thank you for going a little bit deeper. Started off entertaining, but thank you because it makes sense whether people like it or not. It's a real phenomenon. It's happening. And thank you for taking it there, even though you're getting backlash. I'm cool with it because it opens up the door for a larger conversation. Even if it did, it brings a sense of awareness. It brings a sense of, oh, this is real. It's real. And I saw a comment floating through today's chat where somebody said this used to happen a lot back in the day. Baby, it's happening a lot today. It's happening a lot today. So thank you, your girl next door. I want to Yvette Robinson says this conversation have helped people like myself who have always been ashamed to talk about what happened to my daughter, and I can because no one here knows who I am, and I still feel secure about. Yes, that's all it is. We just talking, but some of you have been on yesterday, not in this chat. Some of you are listening, and they're gonna wait till we turn off the live and get so triggered because either it happened to you or you allowed it to happen to somebody else, and it just disturbs your spirit so much so that we're even talking about it and exploring the possibilities of it. This may not be the place for you. You're so mad. I had one lady say, I'm leaving. Please do. This is not your tribe. And next time, leave very quietly when you're in a different territory that doesn't align with your values and your belief. Therefore, we never knew you were here, just in case you decide to come back. D says, I'm praying for everyone. If I offended anyone or you, Queen, it wasn't my intention. I'm not perfect, and I didn't touch on the essay because it's not my experience, but I understand. I don't think you said anything unless you put something in my chat from yesterday. Yeah, I think you're good unless you put something yesterday that was kind of edgy and out there. Okay. So, but other than that, D, I don't think now you're gonna make me go look, child. But no, thank you for your apology. Let me go through some of these comments. There were some really good comments. M. Mills says, my aunt had 7 boys and 1 beautiful daughter. She mistreated the daughter horribly, badly. Antoinette says, my children told me my children, y'all, plural. My children, more than one, told me a couple of years ago that my father made them feel uncomfortable. I asked them if he touched them, and they said no, he's just weird. She goes on to say, I told him he is no longer welcome in our home because it's my job as a mother to protect my children at all costs, and their home is their safe place. Kudos to you. See, they didn't even say he abused them. She said he was dismissed before it could ever get there. It doesn't matter whether he did it or not. I want my children to feel safe where? In my home. The Canadian POV says, thank you. Facts own that Jackie raised her and Chantel is not lying. She just needs more therapy. I just like call her, but I still care for my mother when she was dying because I'm healed. Shay P, thank you for the 10-piece and a pepper. Shay P says, in scene 1, Chantel said they need to establish boundaries before she could meet her child and husband, which leads me to believe there was a falling out before the shooting started. Probably so. And it would have been nice. And this is the part where I know some of you say, well, Shawnee has nothing to do with this. Not directly. Shawnee's an evil genius. She knew what lied beneath, and she exploited it. And the reason why I'm going to call it exploitation, because you didn't have a therapist on site. You knew what you were leaning towards. You knew where it was headed every time Chantel reached out for a one-on-one. You knew the possibility of an explosion and the probability based on Jackie's behavior. Like I said, Jackie's going to pop off. You should have had a therapist there to help them close it and clear it out. Now, you want to look like the hero and say no reunion. You should have had a therapist there. So you get no props from me. Aries66 says, I've watched from the beginning. It was obvious Jackie and her daughters had a toxic relationship. The only person Jackie isn't toxic with is Doug, unless it's just for television. He leaves. He's out of the home. He makes sure he's busy. Oh, Shay P said, me and mine have fought. Who is me and mine? You fought your children? Hold on, let me drop the link. Me and mine have fought. I need a little bit more detail on that. Tiffany Foster says, normalize apologizing to your children for the role you played in their trauma. That's where healing begins. And a lot of women can't do that. A lot of women can't do that and won't do it. And some, I didn't say all. I said a lot can't do that. And as close as some of these people will get as an apology as adults, because typically, unless you really create a safe place for kids, or somebody makes them feel afraid, they probably won't say anything until they're an adult. But if you, for the most part, done somewhat of a decent job, many will come to you, or you hope they will, right? Unless you shoot. And if they do and you shoo them away, The most you'll get as an adult, if you go back and try to have that conversation, is I did the best I could. I did the best I could. Mary Willis says, me and my daughter are in therapy, not over sexual abuse, but over mental abuse. I called it, she said she coined it as being strict, but come to find out in therapy, she realized she was mean. Did I get that right? But in her mind, as a mother, and that's what I'm saying, you're not always right as a mother. And you don't have to be a mother to know that. You being a mother does not give you a greater superpower over every human being on this earth. You being a father. But Mary said, in my head as a mom, I just thought I was being strict. But many years later, I was mean. And guess what, guys? It took somebody to tell her that. Innocent Instigator, thank you for the 5-piece and a pepper. She says, stay out of Queen's inbox today with that nonsense. If you're still triggered, seek help. I said what I said. Be blessed today. Thank you. Please put it in the chat. Don't put it in my inbox. Hershey with a 5-piece says, it wasn't trauma. It was respect. Huh? It wasn't trauma. It was respect. Calling my mom by her name in a disagreement. You mean calling your mom out of her name in a disagreement would have gotten your teeth knocked down your throat. That's fine. But what would make you that? I mean, I understand. I don't think too many of us on this thing would call our moms out of our name. I think we've all agreed that most of us wouldn't. But for those that do, me, as an inquiring mind, said, damn, how did you get there where your daughter feel comfortable calling you a bitch and pushing you? Sexy RN, thank you for the 20-piece. She says, do we believe mothers like Susan Smith deserve respect? The reality is there are many mothers who are egg donors and do not love their children. Let's stop the narrative that the title mother entitles people to anything. You tell them. She said it, I didn't. She said it, I didn't. Oh, wait. Hershey says, sorry you went through that to the last caller, but we still have to question because people have been falsely accused by adults and children. Now, Hershey, that's the part where you just pause on that. When somebody's running it down to you. And that's what I'm saying. Well, we have to say, you know what? I ain't going to say that today. It's not the time. But I get what you're saying because you don't want to invalidate when somebody's opening up. That, you know what I'm saying? Because then you're saying, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you were abused, but what's more important to me? And I'm not saying you're saying that, but that's when we risk saying, but let's prioritize those that have been wronged by children. That's where you got to hold it, Hershey, in my opinion. Aries' very own says, Black girls have always been hypersexualized. Do y'all agree? Do y'all agree that Black girls have been over-sexualized, hypersexualized? Lux say, I get you though. Listen, but, okay, Sexy RN says, but cancels everything you said before the but. That's all I'm trying to say. Look, I be listening to people talk sometimes and I be like, but I just be like, let me not say it. Not right now. Okay. Shit. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. Even calling her by her name is disrespectful. Y'all, she's doing it on purpose. She's trying to be disrespectful. What she's saying is, you're not my mother. And then I encourage y'all to say, why? Yes, it's disrespectful, but don't put a period. Put a comma and then why? Question mark. That's it. More understanding. She's purposely detaching the mother, which is why I said she's a motherless daughter. She does not see Jackie as a mother figure. I need somebody to get on board with me. I'm with y'all. I'm just trying to break it down in different aspects. You're absolutely correct. Grossly disrespectful because she's been disrespected as a child. Doesn't make it right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm just trying to make it make sense. Oh, you said Queen Sheba. No, she means calling her mom by her government name. This was what I was replying to. I would rather be called by my name than be called a bitch. My name is still respectful. I see what you. So yeah, Chantel is putting emphasis on Jackie. That's a way to hurt her. You're not my mama. Chloe, C. Lachey says, "Oh, Queen, I'm glad you got thick skin for this YouTube verse, because these YouTube streets ain't no, ain't no after witnessing. Yeah, I do. I got thick skin for the most part. I do, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's how they behave sometimes. They do. Oh, you say these YouTube streets ain't no joke. After witnessing this for 2 days, listen. Simple yes, Silas said, it is disrespectful. She's been disrespecting Jackie. She's doing it out loud. Jackie does it behind us. They're the same person. She's just embarrassing you. I'm going to embarrass you as a mother out loud because of the way you treated me behind the scenes. I want people to get curious about my disrespect for you. That's how Chantel came to shake things up. I'm not saying I agree. I'm just telling y'all what's happened. It's a reverse psychology. I'm gonna call you Jackie. I'm gonna wait till we get in front of Evelyn. I'm gonna wait until we get in front of Brandy. I'm gonna wait until we get in front of all of the other mothers. And you're gonna be the only one. And I'm gonna hand you your ass. You're gonna be the only one. I'm gonna put a hole in your heart. And I'm gonna call you Jackie. I'm gonna hurt you because you hurt me. And I'm gonna wait. And I'm gonna get you back. Thank you, Nikki. That's all she's doing out loud in public, hurting her mom. You're not going to hurt me behind closed doors and think I'm going to sit here and give you the Mother of the Year award. I'm going to be real disrespectful, just like you are. And I'm going to make you look real bad. So people know you're not a loving mother. You did do that to Carl. I'm just telling y'all how unhandled, unaddressed abuse looks if you don't handle that shit with your kids. They going to get you back. Either they're going to engage with you or disengage with you. And for most of them that choose to disengage with you, they're going to do it when you become old. And they'll put you in a nursing home and never come see you. Or if you're still well enough, barely come by the house for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And everybody else will be wondering why your kids won't come see you. You know, and they know. That's all I'm saying. Don't act like you don't have people in your family where you feel like you're the only one that was responsible for your mom and your dad on their dying bed, or when they got in old age, and you're crucifying your siblings, not understanding why. Lux Pearl said, what if your kids refuse to accept your apology? You've done your part. If you sit in front of your child and you acknowledge your wrongdoing, that you abused them, you hurt them, or you could have been better, and you sincerely apologize, that's all you have to do. You've done your part. Brenda said, that's exactly what she did. I'm telling you, that's what she's doing. I'm just trying to make it make sense. Don't nobody talk about the why. Shay P said, me and mine have fought. And then I'm going to say who. I think you came back and answered that. You say me and my mom, but I didn't hit back. I just had to restrain her because we're the same size and height. So your mom swung on you, Shay. And you restrained her. See? That's all I'm saying. I think that's what you're saying. She's saying that her and her mom may have had some toxic interactions and her mom chooses to take there. Yeah, take it there. She said, yes. Her mother swung on her. This is where I'm talking about. And when I asked y'all yesterday, I said, would you hit back? Oh, it's just a reaction. No, it's not. It's a choice. It's not right or wrong. Would you hit back? And she said, I restrained her, but I didn't hit her back. You don't have to do nothing, but stay healthy. The mother title is very heavy. Why though? Why? And Mary, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Is it heavy because you produced kids and didn't have help and you felt unappreciated? Or is it heavy because you had help and that's just the dynamics of having children? Why? Have you ever asked yourself why it's heavy? And when it became heavy? Queen Tori said, I tried my mom once and got jumped by my aunts. Ah, I bet they wore your ass out. Oh, that's funny to me. I shouldn't be laughing. Girl, it's the way you wrote it. That's funny. I'm sorry. I don't know why that's so funny to me. Third rail says, hi, Queen Sheba. What I wanted to say was when Takari exposed Jackie, it was Chantel who sided with Jackie. Now that Chantel is against Jackie, it's Sakari standing up for Jackie. They're not siding or standing up. They're fighting for love. This is just a repeat. Jackie did it when they were little. Remember, Chantel was 5, having a time, a 9-year-old on a treadmill. Jackie left the house, told the 5-year-old, let me know if she stay her ass on that treadmill and make sure she don't eat nothing. This ain't nothing new. Jackie caused this dynamic. Jackie introduced this dynamic. The girls are just playing it out. The girls are just doing what mama showed them how to do. Jackie has never allowed them to have a sisterhood. Chantel never had a chance. Takari never had a chance. When you start calling your child fat and black and walk your ass on that treadmill and sit here and make sure she don't move, oh yeah. But don't nobody want to talk about that. Let me digress. Anita E., a mother is by definition a female parent of a child. We think the word means someone above, being above. We think the word mother means someone above being wrong. Not so. All mothers are not good. I'm going to just say they're not perfect. They're not perfect. Lady J says, in my 50s, a few years ago, I told my mom about being sexually assaulted as a child by my aunt's husband, my sister's baby. By multiple people. So you were sexually assaulted as a child by multiple men. And you told your mom as a 50-something-year-old woman, and your mom's response to you, she told me, you're grown now. What you want me to do? My point exactly. Kenya Matt says, oh my gosh, y'all don't know about Jackie using Chantel's social security number for several offshore accounts. They are both serving time. Huh? I think you're being funny. Okay. All right. That's all we got today. Very heavy conversation. Hold on. Now Shay coming back with more information. I did black out for a moment. I had to remember. So you hit her. And then you remember. At least she came back and told the truth. So she struck back and then came back because she didn't agree. Oh, she tried to choke me because I didn't agree with her. Exactly. That's all I'm saying. Like they try to show up in the comments and choke me up and issue insult. And when I look at people like that can't handle a simple disagreement, it ain't like we call somebody out of their name. Right. She tried to choke you because you didn't agree with her. Oh, you didn't hit back and I didn't hit back. Child, it's a lot. Queen, what's your thought on the older daughter defending Jackie? She just wants love and attention and affection. Attention by any means necessary. Jackie doesn't acknowledge her. And according to Chantel, Jackie's never, ever met those grandkids of the fat black one. And I'm using Jackie's words against her. When I say that, I want that to land. Jackie doesn't even care enough about her daughter, her oldest one, to go and embrace her grandkids. Almost like that's like flowers in the attic. Hide her. Hide her. And not only hide her offspring. Hide her offspring. Aisha says being called fat and black is a double abuse and a lot for children to deal with. And she's still dealing with it. Oh. I guess Shadell, I hope I'm saying it right. She says she is nasty and she clearly had an agenda. Of course she did. I never disagree with that. If her husband leaves her, then why would her husband leave her? Because she had a fight with her mom. Why would her husband leave her? Because she had a fight with her mom. I'm trying to understand, outside of you being just throwing out stuff, what's your notion? What's your reason? What's your logic for tying her husband leaving her into her being neglected and choosing to show on camera and fight with her mom? Or you just want to insult her? I'm not saying right or wrong. I don't understand where you're coming from. Child of God, welcome. What are your thoughts?
Hi, good afternoon. I just wanted to say, just to kind of piggyback off some of what some of the other callers was stating, in terms of coming from different backgrounds, lifestyles, and so forth like that. I must say that when you come from a culture that doesn't have the resources and, had to struggle and, single parenting or whatever it may have you, that alone in itself can create a lot of challenges. Yeah, I came from a certain situation where I had my issues with my biological mother, but thank God that I was not touched. I, almost was, but that caused a lot of tension and so forth like that. But I do want to say that, my mother went through a lot as well, with her children and having to do it all on her own and so forth like that. So I think that that has a big, huge impact as well. So I try to empathize that way too as I go through my healing journey.
Wow. Oh, wow. Thank you for coming up and just sharing. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, child of God.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day.
You too. You too. Thank you, y'all, for just hanging out with me and having this conversation. I like to open it up. Now, we typically don't dig this deep. We'll go on and fly by and keep, but I wanted to spin the block because there was a lot of people triggered. There was a lot of people passionate about it. And you can be triggered and you can be passionate. Just make sure you keep your hands to yourself, literally and non literally. Make sure you keep your hands to yourself by way of your comments and your physical hands, okay? I want to go back and see if Shadell came back and answered that question. Let's see. Let me go back. Shadell, let me see. Shadell. Okay. Shadell says, if she's that disrespectful and hostile to her birth mom, just imagine if she fall out with her mother-in-law. That doesn't translate necessarily. Not necessarily. That's not necessarily how that works. Her mother abused her. We act like this girl just showed up. Y'all hate to. Why are we refusing to acknowledge the elephant in the room? The abuse. Why are we refusing to acknowledge the elephant in the room? I don't think that means she will necessarily have a negative relationship with her mother-in-law. Her husband could be her savior, the one that shows her how to love healthily. If his family is healthy, you'll be shocked at many people that don't come from such good families, and God blesses them with a phenomenal wife and or a husband that completely Calgon take me away. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I mean, I ain't wishing nobody lose their husband. So I can't get on that one. But I don't know. That's kind of, come on, Shadell, don't do that. She's had a very, very tough past with her mom. Doesn't mean that she doesn't deserve love and a healthy relationship with her in-laws. See, y'all be off the chain. Y'all be saying some of the most deadliest, hurtful things against each other as women, all because you disagree regarding somebody's behavior and or comments. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's be a little bit more lovely to each other. All right. Let's see. Shadell came in hard, honey. I think that's all we got. I went through all of the comments, the ones I found interesting. Okay, you see where she's coming from? Meaning she could take that toxic response over to that relationship. Shadell, is that what you're saying? I hope I'm saying your name right. Welcome, Mandy. Welcome. What are your thoughts?
I just have one thought. I think that people are having the biggest disconnect because they see Jackie having had married a basketball player, and they're equating like the financial safety with emotional safety. So I think that's probably like the biggest disconnect. Like people think just because you have money and status and affluence that they find it hard to believe that like she had such a, you know what I'm saying, like a terrible childhood or whatever.
That is an excellent point. How'd you come up with that?
I was just thinking, I'm like, why is everybody having such a, you right, we are, and I'm not saying me, but people are going so hard on them. It's like, maybe it's because they got money. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we equating that with power. They couldn't have had it that bad. My mom said this the other, like, I'd rather be poor and happy. You know what I'm saying? But no, people be rich and happy too. People be rich and crazy in the head too. You know what I'm saying? So,
And I'm with you. I'm like, I understand what your mom mean, and I would probably feel that if it didn't involve abuse, sexual abuse,
mm-hmm.
mental abuse. If none of that, and you just got spankings here or there, and maybe every now and then mama had to get with your ass and curse you out, and not call you out your name, and you better sit your butt down. You was, that's different. But I don't care how much you see people. I don't care how much money you have. That does not take away the impact of abuse, and people don't understand that, or they're refusing to understand it and disconnecting intentionally because it hits too close to home.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you, Queen.
No, thank you. That was an excellent call out. Thank you, Mandy. Mandy saying some people are disconnecting because you see the money that's on the table and not the problem that lies beneath. Oh, wait. Let me get off here, y'all. This was an excellent conversation. How I see it, TV says she agrees with Shadell. If she can't respect her own mama, if she gets into it with her mother-in-law, she's not going to know how to hold her tongue if she has conflict. I don't know. That part I can't do. I don't know. Because you hear women sometimes say they more respectful to other people than me. Babies act good with other people and try to mama. So I can't say that she's going to behave with her mother-in-law the exact same way that she behaves with her mother. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you to my moderators that work the chat. Damn, we've been over here for 3 hours. Thank you, everybody. It's a lot. It's a lot. But y'all was going off, and I'm not gonna let y'all go off like that without coming back. Simple Yet Stylish says it could go both ways. So I really hope that those that needed this, you take what you needed, you chew the meat and spit out the bones or whatever, however it goes. And for those of you that are still pondering, that you kind of be a little bit more open, even if you disagree, to just hearing all sides. And then still, because the more information you have, the better informed you become, in my opinion. That's what I believe. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. I will talk to you all soon. Gayla, you are welcome. Gayla says, thank you, Queen Sheba, so much for this powerful podcast. It was well needed to listen and talk about. It is. It's tough. Now, we're going to have to go to something light after this. Okay? Yep. Thank you, Gayla. Bye, y'all. Have a good day.